What is up, friends? Welcome to NECC Thursday Night Collegiate Overwatch. My name is Jeff, here with Chef Billy. Billy, we got something special going on, and we've gotten through regular season. We had some awesome playoffs, but now we're getting into nationals. We're getting into the best of the best here from NECC, facing off to determine who belongs at the top of the pile.
It's been a long road. These students have really poured their hearts out this year, and I tell you what, it's kind of surreal that this is our third year now closing out NECC season. I'm so happy, so proud of these students for all the hard work they've done all year long, fall and spring combined. We've got a couple of bangers coming out tonight. We're going to start out in the Navigators division here with Morningside going up against Robert Morris Academy White, and the Iowa school from Morningside. I'm interested to see how they're going to bring their A game, my friends, because this is going to be a day information from them, kind of on the dark side of the moon as far as Robert Morris. We'll get to know them a lot better in game.
Yeah, a little bit later on, we'll have Sam and Ray in here to bringing you Oklahoma Christian University taking on Purdue. But first things first, let's take in our first two teams. Morningside Mustang versus Robert Morris. Robert Morris coming in undefeated. Morningside were undefeated in their fall season, but they were two separate teams there, Billy. They had an Emergence team as well as a Navigators team, both of which went 6-0 and 5-0 respectively. They combined forces heading into the spring semester.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good thing for them, and I think that they just, win during the Christmas break, people graduating early, maybe moving on to different things. So, when they put themselves together, it's going to be together and be real nice for them. Now, we need to see if they're going to be able to close the deal, get that hardware that everybody is so looking forward to getting. But we can't do anything without telling you who's actually going to be in game playing the game. So we're going to take a look at Morningside Mustangs lineup. We've got Ace, probably the best name it's Mew. Everybody that knows me knows that I like to meow, so Mew is a lowercase version of a meow. Then HDB Killer, Coffee Addict, and Lithium. Some freshman representation, Jeff, from this team that have really stepped up. A lot of them coming from the JV team.
Yeah, you being one of those that was promoted in spring from the JV squad. And, we heard about how much growth they've had over this semester alone, how awesome that has been. And then on the flip side of the coin, Ace and Ben HD are two to keep an eye on, as they've been with Morningside for 3 years now, completing their third year with this team. All 3 years here, part of the Overwatch squad, and still have one more to go. So we know we will see in this at least a similar lineup, or nobody is going to leave the team, at least due to graduating between now and fall. So looking forward to keep the good times going. Fun fact, their coach has not placed anything lower than third across the board since 2020, Billy. An impressive stat.
Very, very impressive indeed. And, they finally did get a win over College, by the way. One of their nemesis here in the Navigators division. They finally got a win, but it took them 7 maps to get there in a 4-3 victory over them here just recently. So, I mean, you know what? Kudos to them. Kudos to them getting to this spot. But now we're going to take a look at their undefeated opponents as Robert Morris University Academy White. We've got Bot Mason Tiller, a boot. Adam, sorry. Rare Adam, I'm so sorry. It's our Canadianism. I had to put it out there. Pixel Puppies and VI Lives. And we will see how this is going to go down for this team. I'm looking at their sheet. Not a lot to go off of, but, we're just going to see if they're going to be able to bring the heat, as it were, today, my friend Jeff, because we are going to crown a champion here.
Yeah, I was curious if that's Vi Lives, Vi Lives. I believe her name is actually Violet. So I could see Vi being a reasonable take on that. Then Vi Lives is, you got a nice little rhyming. I don't know. If we're screwing up the pronunciation on that, just bear with us. So we're doing our best with what we got. But yes, looking forward to watching this Robert Morris squad. They're new here in spring. Just joined us here in NECC over the past 4 months or so, and so far have yet to be beat. I mean, they've been pretty flawless in their debut.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on here in the NECC. Lots of schools joined back in the fall. We went to the League OS thing. Even more came into the spring semester. I mean, NECC is on the rise here, and I'm damn
exciting announcements came through today.
Oh my god,
that's awesome! So the future is looking bright here for ACC Collegiate Overwatch, Collegiate Esports as a whole. And I can't wait. I can't wait to be a part of it. Let's take a look at our maps. To speaking of being a part of it, we got to get into this Nationals game. We're kicking things off here tonight. It will culminate a road that will lead all the way to Dallas, Texas here in a couple weeks. We're going to start off on Ilios, your first map here in Nationals.
Oh, I mean, it's so nice to not being, Nepal or Lijiang Tower. This is a great departure from normal. Venture is
I love both of those maps. Thank you very much.
Oh, God, but I'm so sick and tired of seeing them every single bloody cast that we do and every ones that our friends do, too. So it's nice to see a little bit of departure from the norm here. I love the statue out in the bay there. This is one of the most beautiful
gorgeous map.
I love this map. I love not Lighthouse in the dusk. It's very, very aesthetically pleasing. But what I'm looking for here is to see what kind of comps we're going to come out here. Looks like we have almost a mirror comp, except Vi Lives. I'm going to go with Violet since you said Vi. I'm going to go with Vi Lives or Vi Lives. Maybe it's 6 lives. Who knows?
It could be 6 lives. Who knows? But I mean, her name is Violet. We do know that much. Interesting, Moira Bap. That's we'll see what Ace wants to swap to. We are looking at a bit of a mirror here in the tank and the Bastion, of course. But running Moira and Bap simultaneously, this is not something you see very often, Billy. A lot of first healing out. That Moira could be hard to lock down. Okay, here we go. Wheels down, plenty of damage. Good, holding on from a boot to use that Javelin Spear so the team can disengage into that room without taking too much fire. Warning Sign Mustangs have control of the entire map, though. They've got Cage all the way through the objective. They're about to get control, start building percentage. Use down low, and Lithium decides to throw a damage orb up top as opposed to heal them off with that. They got to trade out, but Warning Sign still have their Bastion. Wheels down, this time pointing guns at a boot. Ben HD comes through with a pair of kills on the back of that. First control, first fight, go to Morningside. Okay. May have lost my co-caster here. Hey, no big deal. We'll give Billy a chance to get back in. It was Morningside who got there first. I mean, that early Symmetra teleport just gave them the positioning they needed. Robert Morris struggled to get off of that balcony where they chose to start their attack, where they chose to take that first fight. A boot's already gotten forced all the way back down that street. This road's closed. Sorry, bud. Boot trying to go through the inside of the house. Caught in a little bit off guard there. Oh, taking so much damage. Immortality failed to touch late. Trade out on the Erases. Bot Mason there to find some revenge, and now it's a battle of the Bastions here on this corner. So they're trying to go back to the point. Translocated back after finding that pick. It's a 4v3 favoring Robert Morris at the moment. Tiller in the back line's able to pick up Ace as well. Nicely done. Translocating to the objective has gotten behind the Bastion, lands the virus. That is a sandwich between both of the Robert Morris DPS, and they're going to flip this point.
They absolutely did. Sorry about the technical difficulty there. Everything went snafu here.
The best of us.
But it's back. And so our RMU. That was a really good play there from Tiller, being able to get the manual hacks and the viruses down, and really did start to provide a lot of front-end pressure. I think that they need to do that with this Sombra, the way that she is now. Being in that front line and really taking the value out of the Orisa should be their first resistance.
It was incredible that Ben was able to survive through all that. Beautiful. Oh, it's a combination of ults. I was about to say beautiful terracers. It's really a beautiful combo out of the Mustangs to put Robert Morris down.
I mean, it's an expensive fight for Morningside, though. I mean, they put 4 ultimates into that fight. And now, they're just left with a singular sound barrier. So they're hoping to win all of this in the neutral. All to play for here from RMU. If I had my dithers about me, I'd go with an EMP and start with that. But they're going to start with the artillery strike.
Some players out of the back. Nobody really moved in on the objective. It did get Immortality filled out. Oh, Mu was able to win the Bastion battle inside. They went from around the outside, as a matter of fact. Oh, nice little push off the side for a boot. He's going to pop this Terror Surge. That's a hack onto the Orisa. Can't use the Fortify bit, and she gets around the corner just in time. Nice Javelin. Uh-oh. Robert Morris is looking surrounded. They only spent 2 ults in that fight, though, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, it's good value. They do get a flip and now a flip back. So, I mean, you still got sound barrier diff right now. You're going to have the EMP. And I think they should lead with that. Get aggressive with it. Get on top of the Orisa and you know, pull the sound barrier out of Coffee Addict and see what you can get on the back of it.
Mason poised to use this power position. Fire down low. Has been caught out in the open. Been backing up around the wall. Takes down Coffee Addict instead. The sound barrier never unleashed. Not there to counter the big EMP out of Tiller. And Robert Morris flip it in overtime.
I mean, VI does put out the window, so maybe a little bit of overcommitment there. I think they wanted to guarantee that they win the fight and at least make it interesting coming into this last fight. But Ace and Ben HDD are coming up on their ultimates. If we can get a Terror Surge here for Ben, it might be all but done for them.
Almost interrupted the manual hack from Tiller. Still, Bot Mason's able to pick up a kill before Morningside can get out of this little cubby hole, probably around that outside towards main. You can see Bot Mason is just holding down this lane. It does end up backing up right as I say that. We're going to come up on final fight here, Billy.
I mean, there's another manual hack on to poor Coffee Addict. They've got 3 ultimates coming in this fight. They need to pot some quickly, though.
Sound barrier gets 5. Coalescence combined with it and the Terror Surge. A lot of damage going down. It's going to be Vi Lives that falls when it's said and done. Once again, combo with the Tac Visor. Boot able to interrupt that with an Energy Javelin. Has to run to the point. No choice but to throw themselves in front of the barrage of bullets coming out from the Mustangs. Nobody left. Mustangs round 1. Gathering from the long pause, I've lost my co-caster again. We'll call it a dramatic pause. That was quite the finish there. First map going 99-99. I have a feeling Robert Morris are not used to dropping rounds. So, let's see if they're able to turn this around here as we head into our second sub-map at Ilios. That combo worked brilliantly for the Mustangs twice. Both times, Ben HD and Ace were able to combo the Tac Visor with that Terror Surge for a ton of impact.
3, 2, 1,
and also, I was thinking, the fight that they saved Sound Barrier and still won that fight, Billy. What discipline out of Coffee Addict? Interesting choice. I mean, you're going to hard pocket Mew on the Bastion. It gives you a res as well if you fall during the poke phase. Maybe that damage boost is just the difference. I don't see the damage boost on the Bastion at the moment. Coffee Addict's probably off with Ace on a flank angle. But that gives Robert Morris the player advantage on the bridge. They use overwhelming players just to muscle through that. And it's a flawless first fight here for Roar and you.
We can still be friends, right? Was good.
All right, everybody cheer on Billy's Internet. Everybody, I need you to cheer on Billy's Internet right now. We're all voting for Billy's Internet to just work perfectly smooth here for the rest of the series. I need your help, friends. I need your help out there. Morningside coming in, fight number 2. No ults to speak of for either side. Bot Mason the closest on the board. It's going to be a neutral game playing around the cooldowns here of this Bastion. So the highest damage output on the battlefield. Energy Javelin is going to force a boot, and the rest of RMU back a little bit. A boot tries to jump up tall, up on the high ground. Decided to take that fight with only half health. That might be a mistake, as Mew's all putting down a lot of damage. A boot survives. Good use of cooldown. Able to back on out. Now we're going to get a retaliation. Bob Mason unleashes the first ultimate here on Ruins. Down low. Ben HG's able to find one, but Mew does fall to the aforementioned ultimate. 4v4 on the point, but it's Robert Morris who are missing one of their supports. Bot Mason goes down. A boot has no life left. Morningside Mustangs bring this thing back. Good disengage there from RMU. They're able to fall back. I mean, I was really surprised. I thought when I saw a boot stuck out front and Mew turned that corner and with the tank configuration, I thought a boot was just a down for the count, but they managed to fall back. Good use of cooldowns. Still, Morningside stay tall. It was a really good coalescence out of Lithium as well. Oh, Mew taking a lot of damage early. Can't find the final blow. Ben is actually the one that falls to that Terror Surge. It's a Valkyrie used. Res in they get it off! The javelin spin doesn't force them off the point, and then it's Bit HD back on all 4 of their feet. Timed it around the energy javelin too, I believe, as well, so there was no chance for a boot to insta-cancel it. Now it's Terror Surge out, combined! Oh, but base goes down, my lives can't get the immortality field either in the right spot or not down in time or just got destroyed. Either way, Bob Mason is back, but Morningside are gonna have to win this fight without their tank. No miracle res from Coffee Addict this time around. Then HD falls down too low. It's gonna be a Death Blossom. Sneaks through! The Javelin Spin doesn't absorb enough and catches 2 on the edge of it. 3-piece for Ace. Uncloak in the back. Nobody is turned to face him. It's got Gamora and Taylor on point. EMP hit 2. Still, Terror Surge on top from a boot. Health bars are looking low as Ace has already picked up 2. Make it 3. Mew's got a low health bar in their sight as well. Tiller falls to the Bastion. Morningside take map 1.
Play of the game.
This is first fight, I believe? Yeah, this is first fight. And it started off so good. Started off so good for RMU. It was flawless there for that first fight on Ruins, but they weren't able to hold it down. Similar story. It was a back and forth here on Lighthouse as well, Billy. This was a 99-99 sub-map.
I mean, this is good stuff. This is good stuff for them. And I mean, it's back and forth, but I mean, there's a lot of patience being shown here from RMU. Especially on the DPS side, normally you'll see them let loose with it, but they really did get a lot of that work done.
And the synergy between Ace and Bit HD, 3 years each, as Mustangs playing Overwatch for this squad, for this school. And we saw just the benefits of that. Holy cow, particularly when it came to their ult combos.
Yeah, I mean, this is
that
very
res.
good for them.
That res.
I mean, I think Skiesti would be very proud of that one, my friend. That's one of those risky reses of the day.
Oh, yeah. Moth would be proud of that one too. Yeah, that was definitely a certified spicy res.
I love it.
Hey, we can still have certified spicy reses.
Just because we did it for Skiesti doesn't mean we can't do it for the not fine people here in the NECC. But I tell you what, Ilios was a lesson in patience. That we RMU, they were able to cycle ultimates. They were able to have the trigger discipline, not to kind of, absorb damage, knowing that they may have lost a fight and they're going to hold that ultimate for later on. Coffee Addict being very spicy with that, holding on to the sound barrier there on Lighthouse. They knew it was a lost fight, so they didn't go ahead and panic invest it. And then they were able to use it in the last fight, where they ended up turning that fight in their favor.
I think they actually won that fight, if memory serves. And RMU used a couple of ultimates even. It would have been really easy for Coffee Addict to invest in that sound barrier with good reason, like with a good read on that particular fight. Turns out they in fact did not need it. They're able to win using 0 ultimates in that particular fight. Incredible discipline. Well done indeed. And we can see how both of these schools, we can see the talent here. Despite it being maybe Navigator's Division, it's not Legends Division. It doesn't mean that we don't have 10 incredibly talented players on the battlefield right now, Billy.
I mean, you and I play, well, probably lower than these players, but I mean, the passion's still there. And the teamwork is there. I mean, you see it from both sides. And both sides showed some incredible focus fire when, they were up in a fight, maybe down in a fight, maybe being able to kite away. We saw that happen a couple of times with this Morningside squad, that they were able to kite away from danger. You saw the turn there from a boot. They knew that the Death Blossom was coming in. They tried to get around, just didn't have the flick around fast enough, couldn't get into the line of sight of the ultimate coming in. But We are going to be heading to our escort map, and it looks like RMU has banned Gibraltar. So we have our map selection in for our escort map. Well, we're headed to good old Australia. We're going to Junkertown, Jeff.
Indeedy. He's Morningside who banned Gibraltar. Which tells us, you know, maybe Ben HD doesn't like to play monkey. I mean, I don't know what would be wrong. Why wouldn't you play Winston? It's a speculation. It's more of a joke than anything. Don't take that too seriously, bro.
I take nothing seriously, including me. I don't take myself seriously most of the time. I mean, you could play Monkey here. I mean, Monkey actually plays very well on Junkertown, so it just depends on if we're going to keep seeing the Bastions, and that's got to have a little bit of room for pause. That's the case.
Yeah, no, you're right though. Jimmy was Watchpoint Gibraltar was RMU's band. Morningside banned Shambali Monastery. So they would be maybe trying to avoid poke comps. Is kind of what that tells me. But we end up on Junkertown anyway. So we're back to when we're still on a very long range map. I'm curious to see what RMU have up their sleeve here.
I'm wondering if they're thinking of maybe going with snipers coming out. I don't know. Are we going to see Tracer make an appearance here? I mean, there's lots of avenues for these teams to go. You know, do they want to play Brawl? Do they want to play, you know, Zombie 2.0? Do they want to go with a poke comp? Do they want to run just straight up rush? I mean, there's so many options here. For them.
Well, when we think of Gibraltar, like, that's where, you know, I think of the tank. I think of Winston, like, kind of leading the comps there. When you start to think of why somebody would ban out Circuit Royale, my mind immediately goes to the DPS. You know, do they not have a hit scan player that could keep up, or does RMU's hit scan players' reputation precede them? And moving here onto Junkertown, that's kind of my inclination. That's kind of where I think we're headed, especially with Bot Mason showing us that Ash early and Morningside not bringing any long range to the table.
That's very interesting that you point that out. Also, the interesting thing is that NHD is bringing out the Diva here, so they're looking to mitigate damage. They're looking to have that mobility from high to low, and also the kite back, keeping their back line safe. That's what Morningside is really holding up defensively here for. They're going to give up a little bit of space, and I think they're
going to give up point A, just period. I think their goal is to just I think they're fighting for point B with this composition, to where you can play high ground and kind of surround the team. Obviously, they'd like to hold on that back corner of point A, kind of at the middle of the map before you turn the 90-degree angle to head towards the entrance inside the city itself. But with this composition, this looks to me like they're just playing for point B, Billy.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes down. They've got some pretty good high ground control right now, and I mean, the RMU is going to have to go under it at some point. So, I mean, Tiller, you're looking for the one-shot potential with the charge rail shot, and then you're looking for escapability. Once again, that's a great pick coming out from Pixel Puppies.
Yeah, it was really good shots and good dynamite from Bot Mason to start that off. Great finish from Pixel Puppies, indeed. Boot ends up overextending a little bit. Does get taken down. Ben HD is stuck inside the room. I don't think RMU clocked it. Ben HD is able to get out safely.
Well, we'll see how this is going to go down, but I mean, you know, we're looking for seeing, you know, how this is going to play out. I mean, Morningside, you know, they've kind of got a stranglehold here, even with the pick. They're just not able to close enough space down, and this is where I think that you're going to have the problems that Bot Mason's going to have to deal with this Bastion.
Just to correct myself, they might have clocked it and just not wanted to take the risk to try to punish the Diva. Either way, Tiller falls on the Sojourn. Huge opening pick. Coffee Addict, man, landing the dome with those kunai. Has a Kitsune rush ready to go. This could be very difficult indeed. You can see more Morningside Mustangs are starting to kind of feel the groove on this map. They're starting to push closer and closer.
Yep, and I mean, also, you know, the fact that they just went ahead and had the self-destruct just for the remake tells you that they are completely invested in this first point hold.
Woo. Trying to rotate back. They'd come off the high ground. We saw Ace and Coffee Addict drop down off the high ground. So one of the reasons I kind of started thinking they were starting to invest forward. Now it's been HD split from the pack. You do have the Moira. Never mind. You had a Moira stuck in there with you. The DMAC happens, and this time the split works. Robert Morris are able to... They're going to get the bot around this very difficult corner, too. This is where you normally see a defensive hold in Junkertown Point A, is on this corner.
Okay, Bot. I see you now. Pixel Puppies put out the perfect Kitsune Rush there and bought them so much space with the reduced cooldowns and the extra increased movement speed. So now Mustangs need to decide, are they going to, in fact, get on this point and defend?
No. They're playing for point B. They're not going to try to get... Oh! But they invest a late Kitsune Rush. If they were going to make... They needed to do this a lot sooner, like 10 seconds ago. They're going to win this fight, but who cares? The spawn is right there.
I mean, I guess you get, some high ground control. You allow them to get a little bit of cart progress. You get some free ult charge for the rest of the team. So, I mean, you've got both your DPS ultimates. You've got the Coalescence to keep you sturdy through this upcoming either Bob or the Terra Surge. We'll see how it goes down.
Curious if they continue to do that. Do they continue to poke outside and kind of ambush? No, it was just a different look they showed. It worked for that fight. NHD looks a little separated from the pack. Lithium is up here. Toss a nice healing orb. NHD repositions a little bit, knowing it was going to reset directly beneath them. And this is exactly where Morningside Mustangs wants their opponents. This is a nice little kill box where they're going to drop this artillery. 5 pixel puppies early in this fight. RMU have kind of disengaged, throwing out a Bob to figure out how they can emerge into this difficult little touch of space surrounded by Mustangs. We're going to send a couple people up to the high ground to try to force BenHD out. BenHD just drops low. Ace drops the tack visor from up on high. And RMU are stuck in the back.
I mean, that's so really unfortunate. And, the big thing right now for RMU is that, they're not going to get any value out of this Terror Surge unless somebody is silly enough to drop. You might be able to catch one person, but I mean, like you said, it's a kill.
But HD just noped out of there so fast, that M-Matrix. It was perfectly timed from Vine Lives. Still not able to find much with the Bob Mason, on the other hand. Takes down their counterpart. 5v4 for RMU. Great heals. Top off Tyler. Terror Surge is dropped up front. Coalescence to their face. Suzu used to protect the Bastion. Get him out of that Terror Surge, and it works out well. He is able to find Vine Lives and a boot as well. Make it 3 from Mew.
I mean, meow. That's beautiful. That's kitty. That's the cat getting into the cream happiness right there for Mew. Even though they do end up losing their life, they got the damage done. That's self-destruct. Forces out immortality, and then they're just able to just spray everybody down. So a minute 40 left here in point D. Overclock to work with, as well as Kitsune Rush.
Swappy's first Kitsune Rush was point winning. Throws this one out early here from the high ground. They're able to close the gap with it. It's an overclock coupled with it. Tyler wants somebody needs to get a kill off the back of this. Cannot. Gets a couple of shots, but no final blows. Will settle for BenHD, who push up way too far forward. Gets just chewed to bits. 5v4. RMU with the low ground, and they're just going to hog cart. Morningside Mustangs are trying to whittle them down with the Bastion up high, using that take configuration. Now using a Kitsune Rush of their own. It's going to send at least one player down to the cart to try to stop it, but Ace is immediately taken down. Trying to buy time for BenHD to get it back to this point. Tack visor up from Bot Mason to devalue the rest of the Kitsune Rush. Finds Mew with it. Finds Lithium with it as well. Still have BenHD on the cart, but man, that is just an ult battery for the remaining RMU players.
Oh man, what a well thought out fight there from RMU, despite the artillery strike coming down on their heads. They were ready and willing to take that engagement. They just hugged the walls for dear life and hope that Mew didn't see him. Ace is going to have Kitsune Rush as they start to set up their high ground defense here. But Bot Mason ain't having none of that sass.
Yeah, this overclock into that little, knowing that there's a bunch of, we're saying RMU think twice about moving up to that high ground. Oh, here they come in spades. This could be a nasty overclock. It's going to be an implication matrix up top. Self-destruct use. Running backwards, a boot can't get away! Vine Lives dies in the process as well. Must have stepped just outside that immortality.
I don't know I don't know if there was enough of the immortality left to really keep them alive, but the overclock got invested from Ace as well. Might want that one back in the back pocket since you were already up 2. We'll take a look at it and see what happens. Did they shoot it? I guess they shot it.
I don't know. It showed the self-destruct taken out by, or excuse me, the lamp was taken out by the self-destruct in the kill feed. Not exactly sure. It was an awesome play. That's what we know for sure. Is Ben is still dominating here on the defense. 1 minute to go as the Terror Surge is unleashed from a boot. Down 1 already. RMU are going to try to fight back. They do. They find their own pick onto a DPS. 4v4 with a Kitsune Rush to back them up. The Fox continues to escort RMU forward as it has twice already.
42 seconds left here, so I mean the time racing has been very good from this Morningside Mustang squad. Ace is looking for something on the backside. They've swapped over to the Reaper, so now you're going to look to chunk down a boot on this Orisa. We'll see how they get it done. There's a lot of damage coming in as the heals are there.
Yeah, there's a nice little micro battle between Ace trying to close the gap on Tillers in the back, Tiller in the back, using an overclock down this long lane, but there's a Kitsune rush coming right at them. Not quite able to hit those heads down low with tiny pixels, and a boot goes down. Mew finds 3 in that Kitsune rush, shuts down RMU, and the Mustangs have halted them in their tracks.
That is absolutely nuts. Yeah, celebration artillery strike. Mew is feeling it. Mew had a couple of multi-kill fight-winning engagements there. Point B, point C there, both of them going the way of the Bastion. I mean, this was absolutely sick. Ace was doing their best, but Pixel Puppies had their number. I tell you what, Morningside Mustangs wasted a lot of time here in their fights, and it was really trying to get on top of everybody. And I'm telling you what, Mustangs, they're looking good right now, my friend. They're looking really good.
Yeah, I think the Mustangs bought a lot more time on first than they may even plan to. They were able to eat up a good couple of minutes, and then, I mean, this defense was pretty spectacular as well. By the time RMU hit third point, they didn't have much left to work with at all.
Just patience. It's patience, too. And a lot of trust in their support line. I mean, Coffee Addict and Lithium are putting out some seriously good heals, in addition to some pretty good damage as well. I'd be interested to see where Coffee Addict is sitting on the damage point. But I tell you what, I loved the Diva pick there. Lots of mitigation there, keeping Coffee Addict and Lithium safe a lot of times.
On the counter side, I will say Pixel Puppies has done a phenomenal job in their own right. End up with the opening pick there to start off point A, but the Kitsune rushes were very well timed, very well placed, and were instrumental in RMU able to get as far as they did. So both of our Kirikos have been going pretty neck and neck as far as I'm concerned. At least here on Junkertown so far.
Right. I mean, Ace tried to, get a little bit of play with the Widow there. Didn't find the joy. We'll see if they make a swap here. But, I mean, it's going to be about dislodging a Boot and Company from this high ground. Yeah, Ace goes back over to the Soldier Jeff. So, I mean, they're looking for a flank, maybe. Maybe Ace to run around and see what they can get.
That's back onto a Baptiste. And she moved up to the high ground. Finds 2 very quickly. Just shut down that lane. Bot Mason and Vylabs were hiding in. Oh, my. It was fish in a barrel there for Ben. A lot of damage onto the Bastion as well, and RMU struggling to hold in the ground.
I mean, it's just front-loaded pressure, and the fact that you have that mitigation with the defense matrix, I mean, that's everything that they need around it. Even with the hands up, you're going to be in a big amount of trouble there, trying to keep this Diva out of your face.
Could use a cooldown to keep Ben HD alive. Ben HD gets D-Mac. They're most likely not going to be able to cap here. No, that Aboot's going to pop the Nemesis form so close to that Annihilation. The cart so close to the cap. Annihilation is popped. Oh, but Aboot goes the wrong way. The drop down just in time. 158 centimeters separates it from point A, and we got 2 down. A tank for a DPS. Coalescence on this point, pointed right at Pixel Puppies, and it's enough to melt them down with a little help from Ace. Tank or not, Morningside will cap this point.
That coalescence was everything that the Mustangs needed to get themselves over the line. I mean, I don't know how a Boot stays there in that fight. I mean, Pixel Puppies and VI, I mean, they absolutely pumping the heals in, the great use of putting the block up during the Nemesis form, just kiting, throwing up that shield whenever they had it off of cooldown. I mean, that's pretty impressive coming out from RMU, but now they are in serious trouble here. They've lost the high ground advantage.
Trying to fight to get it back. A lot of damage coming through. An ultimate thrown out from you. Denied. Before they can drop a single artillery shell. Boot is still very low. Has to just throw the arms up. Try to block. So you hear that Nemesis form come out. Immortality Field is used in that as well. Suzu thrown in the mix. Everything in the kitchen sink trying to keep a Boot alive in this fight. And it's worked. They're still on 2.
I love it. I love it. And this is complete, throwing all your resources to keep your tip of the spear on their feet. And I mean, it works out beautifully. In the interim, by the way, Boot got about 25% towards that annihilation. So they're going to have a full 5-pack coming into this engagement. Mustangs, they need to start something big here. They've kind of been a little reckless. Where they were patient on Ilios, they've been a lot more front heavy on this side.
Morningside do have a lot of time to kind of show a couple of different looks in there. Going through the inside here through Mega Room, trying to go up the stairs as a narrow corridor, so they have to use the Kitsune Rush just to get out. A Boot counters with the Annihilation, and Morningside can't get full value out of this Kitsune Rush. Coffee Addict goes down, as a matter of fact. Rotation is no good. They try to back up to point to death sentence. Even investing a late Coalescence, Billy. I don't know about that one.
I don't either. Maybe we're looking at a change of support here. Or maybe it was just a panic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe didn't realize just how many were down or something. I don't know. That was really late.
I know I get tunnel vision sometimes in my ranked games where I don't realize what's going around. So, I mean, maybe that's just what happened there. But self-destruct's going to be online. But the point is that RMU did not empty their entire war chest. They've still got a Kitsune Rush and Attack Visor. That could be a hellacious combo.
For friends out there, if you don't have the noise when teammates die turned on, I highly recommend turning on that option. It's off by default. Amazing, amazing addition. Definitely good to have on. All right, wheels down here for RMU. Consider the rest of the back. That's a lot of damage coming out of that backline combined with Attack Visor. That damage is hitting the mark no matter what. You cannot peek that.
I mean, when I get it right, I get it right, and it doesn't happen very often, though, folks.
Well, Morningside did a good enough job disengaging. They were able to come back really quickly. They're going to toss it and self-destruct over the top. Pixel Puppies can't get away. What an opener onto the Kiriko to start this fight. Take configuration already used from Tiller, and now Ben HD is free to move into the back line. Mew picks up that kill. They do lose Lithium on this rotation as they aggress in. Mew falls as well, as there's an Ant Matrix on this high ground that is yet to be addressed here from Mustangs. 3v2 favoring the squad in blue. Ace finds one of those. Swift step in to maintain at least 2 here for Robert Morse, but they're quickly cut down. Show me that replay. Show me that replay. Oh, the Curry is the one who went inside. It lands right at the door. Ooh, great replay. Great angle from our obs, Caroline. That was amazing. Oh, just barely caught Pixel Puppies as they try to run down that hallway. The bomb lands right on the door frame. Perfect placement for Ben HD. Brilliant. Now getting aggressive here against Bot Mason and Vi Lives up top. Oh, it gets dematched for that hubris. Oh, it looks like they're not picking you up on stream, Billy. I can hear you, but unfortunately, I don't think stream can. Billy was saying the most brilliant thing you've ever heard in your life. Don't you worry.
Group up with me.
Are we good now?
I'm with you.
What I was saying. Oh, you there, Ben. Got a little bit too big for his britches, and now they've got they've got ultimates here to try and dislodge this RMU squad from high ground.
Well, it's Morningside who are going to pull the trigger on their ultimates first. Didn't find anything with that one. Now Tiller's going to respond, throwing it right in the middle of the Kitsune Rush. But it was underneath the bridge. Ace is able to escape, finds 2, finds 3. Ace once again getting max value at Attack Visor. Please tell me how you do it.
Kitsune Rush helps. I can tell you that much. Yes. The Kitsune Rush absolutely helps. And now they've got Coalescence. So, I mean, Lithium's going to have to kind of play this safe because they have to know that Bot Mason has Attack Visor online. And this Annihilation could stop them in their tracks. They need to get it touched, though, very quickly.
Yeah, Ace has got a little flank angle from underneath, but Tiller's able to keep him at bay for the meantime. Morningside decides to just back off and regroup, knowing they only need one more fight to push this home. And HD sneaking in underneath. Teller uses the taken figures from very early. That could go back to haunt him. Coalescence out early. Self-destruct over the top wall. The Annihilation is going here from a boot. Bob Mason punches Attack Visor as well. And it's RMU who are finding the picks. It's fast. It's a little too fast if you're the defense. Morningside will get another shot.
They are going to get another shot, but I mean, that's the entire war chest for Morningside gone. Ace is going to go over to the Tracer to ensure they get that touch. And, you know, the recall will give them a little bit of extra staying power. This window here could be absolutely massive and pull them square here in our Nationals Championship game.
Final fight. Winner, if RMU wins, they tie up the series. Otherwise, it's Morningside on match point. Annihilation, excuse me, that's not annihilation. That's an amplification matrix. They're in the back from 5 lives. Still, Tiller and Aboot are very low. Gonna put out double healing. Kitsune Rush thrown in the mix as well. Bob Mason able to take advantage of that. Finds Coffee out of the back. Pixel Puppy's just pouring Healing Afuda into a boot. Still, Tiller goes down thanks to a Moira Orb from Lithium. 4v4 on this objective. 5 lives. Finds a big pick onto the heels into the back. The sustain lacking. Trades going back and forth. Ace on the Tracer picks up 1. BitHD gets D-Max. It's a 2v2. Really a 1.5.
No way.
And BitHD finds 1. 1v1 on the point. Reinforcements are starting to show up. But here comes the ultimate. Out of Tiller. That's going to take down 1. Ace has no life left. Neither did Vilives. Vilives pops regeneration and gets the kill. RMU tie up the series.
What a final fight. Are you kidding me? I mean, that came down to pixels between the difference. Ace just could not find the last there, and Vilive stands as the last person standing on the fight. We've got ourselves a series. We've got ourselves a tie.
We'd have it no other way here at NECC Nationals. It's the bounce back. I asked RMU, you know, are they used to being on the business end of things? Are they used to being on the short side of the stick and having to play from behind? How is the mental? The mental is titanium strong here from RMU. They came back in a big way on Junkertown. What a smart pick, too.
What a smart pick. I mean, let's talk about Aboot, though. I mean, Aboot was pretty dang good there in the front line as Rabatra.
I can't wait to see what they do in Map 3. We're going to head to Flashpoint when we return. We'll see you there in just a minute. Well, RMU dropped Ilios 0-2. I mean, it was 100-0 on Ruins. That one wasn't even close. But what a bounce back. They take us to Junkertown. They put up a big hold on point 3. There to tie us up here in our first Nationals match for NECC Overwatch.
I mean, that was fantastic. And the mental is very strong. Game on, as they would say back in the day. But we're going to head to our Flashpoint map. And, of course, we only have 2 choices for now. And we are going to the more preferred your home locale there in Suravasa. We saw Ace bring out the Tracer. So does that mean that we're going to see a Tracer possibly come out here on Flashpoint? Because getting a Bastion around is not so easy on a Flashpoint map where speed matters.
I mean, it's not impossible, but I do agree. I mean, you've got to be able to rotate so quick on Flashpoint. It would require, at the very least, a Lucio, if not a Symmetra as well, to kind of use the teleport to accomplish that, right?
Right. So, and we have seen the Sojourn come out from both Mew and Tiller. So,
we call this comp Calzone.
Calzone.
That's what RMU just put in chat. Who we have swapped sides, by the way. RMU are now in blue. Morningside are now in red. Apparently, they gratuitously just wanted to swap sides just to confuse all of us. So there you go. But yes, RMU said they call this comp Calzone. We call this comp Y.
Well, you got your wish there from Morningside. They are going to play the Symmetra and the Bastion, but they do not have that Lucio get them around. So there's going to be a speed option here for Robert Morse. They also have the Soldier and the Sojourn. So, I mean, mobility is going to be key here for RMU, but Morningside looking for that front-loaded damage.
I mean, it means there's a lot of weight placed on Ace's shoulders in the positioning of these teleporters since you don't have that Lucio. Kind of harding investing on whatever position you do take. And right now, it's here on this long side trying to approach the point. They rotated all the way around the half moon. They didn't want to come up short side against Bot Mason on this Soldier as well as Tiller's Sojourn. New gets popped to the back, rail shot built up, and the primary damage dealer of Morningside's composition is now finding themselves in spawn, watching a timer, watching their friends get battered by a boot in this Nemesis form. Puts up the block, blocks the energy javelin as the Nemesis form fades. Still putting a lot of pressure down onto the Ureza just to keep Ben HD at bay. Ben has managed to build up a Terror Surgeon this time. Ben is going to go and unleash it early. Fade was used, picks the puppies out of harm's way. Bot Mason finds a good pick. Morningside once again find themselves a player down.
Yep, I mean this is just a compositional difference, and I mean you're seeing mobility wins the day out.
I still don't understand the calzone. Well,
I mean,
I'll put that mystery out there. It's a puzzle out there for you, friends. Let me know.
I have no idea. I don't understand. I mean, it's a folded pizza. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure, but they're coming up on 4 ultimates. So they're going to go ahead and take market. We're going to see where the RNG throws us out next, and it looks like we are heading to Temple.
To the north. To the north.
I don't know why that's tickling me so much, but it is.
Expert analysis here from myself. Finishing, using that javelin spin to get some ground, knowing they've got the Fox at their back, and Mew mowing through the opponent. Tiller responds with an overclock, able to get 1. A boot can't find safety, though. Trades continue as Tiller just gets mowed down. Ben HD fearlessly runs into the back line to find both DPS.
So Kitsune Rush wins them the fight. Yeah. I mean, Kitsune Rush wins the fight. Coffee Addict once again with a beautifully timed ultimate. I mean, that just makes Mew damn near unkillable. It becomes just this Goliath of damage coming towards you. Ace over to the Reaper. This is interesting. Look at his chunk, a boot down, but they've got Annihilation and a Sound Barrier. This should be an easy flip for RMU.
Yeah, so I think I gotta get through Mew first, using that Sound Barrier to cover the ground without taking That's Energies here, putting in a boot down into the grave below, into the void. Rotation around. Oh, nice! Energy Javelin. My goodness. Benishi is so good with those javelins.
Okay. First of all, it's the Orisa, so I mean it's automatically perfect.
During Annihilation,
yes.
too. Like, right as Annihilation got popped.
The timing, the game sense, hearing the ultimate pop, knowing they have it in line, and they just got a perfect angle on them. Now, I mean, you're looking at a coalescence engage with attack visor at the back.
Good thing, too. That Coalescence keeping a boot alive there as they were forced into the corner. Back visors used. Morningside rotate off. Still managed to try to push back off, but they lose two as they try to re-engage onto this point. And that is going to be that. Bot Mason able to win it out.
I mean, they use the combos nicely. They waited to pull the trigger on that tack visor. It forces the Suzo and the Swift Step out of Coffee Addict. Can't get out of the way. Once that's gone, once Lithium is dealt with in the interim, I mean, that's all that they needed. So, I mean, Blossom, ready to go. We'll see how sneaky Ace can be with that Reaper guy, one of my favorite heroes in the game.
He does have these two fantastic shotguns. Ace is going to use that teleport, get across the other side. Whoop! Wraith form right into the middle. Looks like they're going after the Lucio. Oh, but gets popped along the way. They're doing some good bodyguard in there for Vilives. Benhd working off the outside. It looks like the DPS are on the front. That leaves Benhd by themselves, and Robert Morris has clocked this. They just send everybody after the Orisa. He's still trying to fight this out from the front line. You know, it only takes one picks, and Morningside are running out of time. He was going to fall, but Mason pushes out to get that kill. A boot out looking for more.
I mean, they're going to have to give it up here. They are not even going to get a touch. So, you know what? They're going to hold on to their ultimates. They're just going to go ahead and give up Temple. It looks like we're now heading over to Ruins. And, I mean, they've got a little bit to deal with on their own side. They've got an overclock and a attack visor ready to go. The sound barrier should keep them alive through the Death Blossoms that coming in. But, I mean, if Coffee Addict puts out this Kitsune Rush Step, this could be absolutely danger Will Robinson.
Air Surge gets a lot. Vilives able to get that sound barrier down. In the back is Ace. Ooh, gets shut down. The sound barrier getting so much value from Vilives. Completely denies two ultimates. Still, it's a trade of DP, yes. Coalescence here to try to counter the Annihilation from a boot. Killer. Overclock. Focusing on BHD. Got a couple of good shots down. The headshot to finish him off. Turns the corner onto Coffee Addict. They have nowhere to Swift Step away. Tiller will finish them with a quick jab. RMU are on track here to take map 3.
I mean, wow. I mean, what a perfect sound barrier. I think that you have to realize, and you hear the audio cue, the Vamos Gulasha comes out from Vilives, and I mean, you can't pop Death Blossom in that moment. Even if you're in the backline, there's too much overshielding going on right there. So a bit of a missed opportunity there for Ace. They've got it back over to the Soldier 76. Now, Artillery Strike, ready to go. You still got this Kitsune Rush. That's their entrance onto the point.
Yeah, go right down Main Street with it. Hunting down Bot Mason. Using two ultimates to find that kill. Nope, ends up with a pair before it's all said. To make it 3, Mew continuing to be a powerhouse.
Love it. Love it. And yeah, maybe a little heavy on the investment there. I mean, I think the Kitsune Rush was probably going to get it done anyways. They just wanted to make sure. I mean, in the interim, I mean, BHD gets basically their Terra Surge online. Lithium's been kind of silent though, Jeff. Here in map number, or in our map number 3 here, the Flashpoint, haven't seen a lot out from the Moira. Lots of healing, but not necessarily that frontline presence that you like to see.
Lithium will have a coalescence here soon. Oh, nasty! You don't expect the Terra Surge just to get 2 right out of the gate like that. Ends up putting a boot in a terrible spot too. Big fight win here for Benhd and Morningside.
I mean, and all it cost them was the Terra Surge. So, I mean, now, you're basically playing for one final fight here to see if Morningside can get themselves back into this Flashpoint. Otherwise, we're going to map number 4 with Robert Morris Academy online to take the national championship bid.
Well, that's close to a sound barrier. Most important ult that I'm looking at right now. Has to live long enough to get online and is so close. Just great positioning here and does, in fact, get it. Even beats Lithium up to their ultimate, as a matter of fact. Really fast ult charge. Just going to go ahead and use it early. Pixel Puppies does die on the approach. Sound barrier touch late to keep the Mora alive. Coalescence now out from the opposition. Tiller with the overclock would love to take that down, but gets interrupted by a spear, and Lithium melts them down. Mid HD, I mean, the spear accuracy is off the charts here from the Ilios, so the Mustangs are not done.
BHD, teach me your ways of the energy javelin, please. I need it.
Oh, so good.
So good. Good news for RMU. They're going to have Annihilation online. They're going to have their TAC Visor online as well. Same thing coming up for Morningside and this Kitsune Rush. We've seen how good Coffee Attic has been with them all day as we now approach Palace.
Oh, what a pick. Bot Mason finds through all of that traffic, the most important kill of the whole bunch. No supports left standing here for the Mustangs. This should be easy cleanup. It is, in fact.
That was bloody, though. That was bloody from both sides. What an early first pick, though. Taking Lithium out the fight so quick in the interim. Now you're going to have, Coalescence ready to go for Pix Puppies. That's going to make a Boot's life a lot easier, especially if you decides to bear down upon them. They pop this Annihilation. Bob Mason, look for a flank angle. See if you can get behind the Javelin spin of BHD here.
Morningside are going to head to the high ground themselves, so it's going to be a fight in a little tight area. Bob Mason got a force back through Main Street. Annihilation popped early. Fists up to block instant tank configuration of Mew. Mew overextends a little bit and can't get right back out. Here comes a boot. Bearing down on you with tendrils of pain. Fists to match. Still, everybody from Morningside scatters. They end up finding that kill surrounding. Oh, Ace runs right into a hail of bullets. Nice rockets on a Bob Mason. Oh, and despite a great disengage, RMU stand tall.
That's going to win them. We're going to have to go back to some speed characters here as we now are approaching very quickly the 80% mark. You've got the Kitsune Rush. You've got the TAC Visor. These are going to have to be popped just to get yourself onto the point and get some kind of touch. You got to do it in the next 8%.
We're not having a Lucio really hurts. You just have so few options. TAC Visor's a good one, though. Combined with a Kitsune Rush, it's enough to get two. It's a Fox and auto aim. And, well, that's pretty nasty, Billy. That's pretty nasty. Morningside are right back in.
I mean, I could make a salty comment about the new change coming through because of the console players and Zimmers, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to take the easy, low-hanging fruit there. We're going to look at TAC Visor versus Coalescence once again, Jeff. We saw this happen earlier. Bot Mason winning that out easily. Lithium has to manage the cooldowns.
I was bragging about Ace's TAC Visors earlier. Bot Mason has been equally as efficient as lethal with those tactical visors. Now, we'll have high ground here to work with. Great positioning out of RMU. And Bob Mason pops it early. Eats an energy javelin from the ever-accurate Bid HD, but will shut down the Coalescence out of Lithium. Looking for the second support. Coffee Addict is low. The second energy javelin lands, but Tiller's got an overclock from up high. Has already picked up one. Sound barrier is there, and that will be the map. RMU moving up to match point.
I mean, what a turnaround from what we saw on Ilios, Jeff. It started in Junkertown. It's continuing on here in the flashpoints of Suravasa, and they are now one map away from getting themselves that bid. BHD doing all they can, but it is the teamwork, it is the mobility, it is the focus fire of RMU that's winning the day out.
Here's another one right here. Wham! Actually, that should have been a thwack. I think thwack is a more appropriate sound effect for those energy javelins. Thwack! Watch how many Bid HD hits in this. I'll guarantee you Bid HD hits a lot of energy javelins just in our replay package. I feel like Bid was so accurate with them, but still, they wasn't enough to batter down the doors of RMU. What a turnaround indeed.
Well, we're going to see what Morningside has in their mental department because they have been absolutely killer. When they're in the forefront. Now, they're on a deficit. There's another good one right there. It leads to the artillery strike kill, but I'm just looking for, some switch up their comp. As Mew, a Bastion OTP, we might need to see some mobility come out on our next map.
Such a close series here so far. Maybe you have to play around that fashion. Maybe that is a limitation from Morningside that they're just kind of forced to play around. We don't know exactly what these hero pools look like, but we've certainly seen a pretty similar comp, both of our maps with, we did see a Diva on Junkertown, but we've had the Orisa from Morningside on both Ilios and then here on Suravasa as well.
Well, I think it's going to come down to map pick now. This is where RMU have to really knuckle down. They have to decide how this is going to go. Or I'm sorry, Morningside is going to have to knuckle down here. They're going to have to figure out what best plays into their composition. I think that we'll see Esperanca banned out. I'm not looking at our chat, but I think that we see Esperanca banned out. I think that we would probably go to New Queen Street, possibly.
It's actually no. New Queen Street was banned out.
Wow.
So,
okay, so that's a linear map. So I mean, Colosseo would be the next best bet here for Morningside with long sight lines, not necessarily as much terrain change as what you see in Esperanca. That's basically what RMU is hoping they'll go to. But I think that we'll be going to Colosseo if I have my thoughts about how this composition's been working all series long, Jeff. They're looking to play around Muse Bastion.
A bit, and it may be something as simple out of RMU as they're trying to keep Ben HD off the Diva. I mean, that's it would definitely be much more of a Diva map there on New Queen Street as opposed to Colosseo or Esperanza, where I expect to see the Orisa come back out. And it feels like RMU have kind of found an answer for that. They pull out their trademarked calzone comp with the Ramatra, and it is certainly up to the Mustangs to find an answer. They haven't been able to yet.
Are they saying that Ramatra is a spaghetti Western hero? That might be way too old for these kids.
That's a bit of a stretch.
I'm trying to figure out.
We'll have to ask him sometime. I don't know why they're calling it calzone. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just too hot to handle. I don't know.
Map pick is in, and as surmised, we are indeed heading to Italy. So calzones work very well in Italy, as we all know. It is a nom Italian food, but this does play a little bit into setting up a bastion, making sure they've got the protection there. I think that you need to run. There's one thing that I would like to see them do if they're going to run this bastion, Jeff. I think that they need to have a Baptiste. I think they need to have an Immort field. So when the pressure gets a little bit too much, they can throw the lamp out there, and they can keep their bastion up, get these resources pumped back into them, get them back on his feet, and let them continue to wreak havoc as we saw them do earlier in the series.
Yeah, we have seen some interesting support lines, but I think another thing that they've struggled to lock down is what other DPS do they run alongside the Bastion. We've seen Symmetra, we've seen the Soldier 76, we've seen been a Reaper in a couple of different instances. So, and again, look, Ace is the one that hasn't chosen. Everybody else knows exactly what they're doing. Ace is a bit of a question mark. I think even from within Morningside, it seems to be the one spot they haven't quite locked down in this composition.
I mean, and Ace is getting the work done. I mean, that's the other side of this is Ace is getting a lot of work done, creating different sight lines for Mew to be optimized in, sometimes at the expense of their own life. So this pick here, the Sombra pick, is interesting. We saw Morningside deal very well with that on Ilios. This is a different story, though. Lots of hidey places here for a Sombra to have lots of fun in.
And Ace is not going to be happy about that Sombra, I don't think, after swapping to Ashe for the first time today. Might want to go back to that Soldier, already down to 9 health. Yep, and this is the first to die on the map. But there is a trade. It's Ben HD up front, finding some revenge for their fellow 3-year-old Mustang vet. Using some cooldowns, has to back out. RMU have managed to gain some ground, and they're getting a boot up close and personal here with that Nemesis 4. Still a lot of damage as Mew pops this tank configuration, and a boot does end up falling before it's all said and done. Oh, that was a nice virus. Mew lucky to get out alive.
I mean, once again, it's the healing. It's the lithium and coffee addict. Speaking of, Kunai takes Pixel Puppies out, so this is going to be some positive part progress here. Now, the decision has to be made. Do we get to like that 30-meter mark, then kind of do a little disengage, get the lead, and then try to come back together as a 5, get all your cooldowns back in order, and then go back in?
Well, we've got a boot jumping down across very early in the fight. Tiller was down low. Vilive is essentially swift step down, and Ben HD gets stuck inside this room, inside the restaurant. Now Boot turns all their attention onto the front line of the DPS of Morningside. On to Mew specifically. Here comes the side manual hack virus. Everybody converges on to Mew. The Bastion is picked apart.
I mean, Tiller is playing Sombra the way that Sombra should be played now after the rework. I like the frontline Sombra. I like the denial of cooldowns that the Sombra provides. And now EMP is going to be online here. I'm looking to see if they're going to get a touch here. I don't think they should. Well, I guess I'm wrong. That's actually kind of cool that they went on the backside.
I think it may actually be Tyler. Oh,
what?
Poor Tyler just got decimated. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Ben HD just saved their lead. Went behind the gelato truck and said, surprise! Hi! And took him out. Now you've got artillery strike and your coalescence. This is going to be a lot of good progress here from Morningside.
I mean, she definitely deserves some gelato after that one, but now it's separated. Decided to swap over or move over to the left-hand side, I think so that they could regroup down through that mini by the stairs. But it's left a couple of players. In fact, all four of the rest of the team are on this right-hand side. Mew is down low, pushing cart. Rush from up top. Ball Mason drops down with attack visor. Had one target stuck around the corner. A's can't make it around the second corner. Tension turn on to Lithium. Fades out with 1 health. Energy Javelin save him. Ben HD comes through just the nick of time to bail out their team once again.
Lord.
Protecting their teammates.
Ben HD gets the Golden Javelin Award today. And accepting it on behalf of their team will be Ben HD.
And HD, you have been spectacular all game long with your javelins. What do you do now? Hopefully send Morningside to map 5. Hopefully that's what Mustang fans are hoping to be the reward for the spectacular accuracy.
EMP still online, but I mean, we're about to be on this 80 or this 100-meter mark. Oh, my Lord, that's a huge EMP.
Incredible Suzu out of 5 lives as well. Just kept a Boot standing right in front of the attack visor, face tanking into the auto aim.
I mean, good disengage, though. I like that. Now we're going to see what do we got coming up next. 3 ultimates were put out there from Robert Morris University. Ace in a losing fight. I mean, that EMP just cleaned everybody's clock, and now forward spawns are gone, but you've got another Terror Surge. We've seen how good Ben HD has been with them. He's just going straight in there, full send.
Yep, and combined with the Coalescence, once again, pull everybody in, get that AoE piercing damage to the entire bunch. Works like a charm. 2 picks already here, and that beautiful disengage turns into an even better re-engage. Nice shot, Coffee.
Oh, Coffee.
Gosh, she's good.
Coffee. Got another Javelin. Okay, we see you now. There's not going to be the pause here at the butt scratch off the killer. Great swap over to the Sojourn, almost 60% towards overclock. That's actually huge, Jeff. We're going to see now what kind of progress can we get. My 110-meter mark has really not failed me this season.
That's will be quite the comeback, but there's still lots of time. Like I said, halfway through. Live jump down with a beautiful little flank. Both supports are in trouble. Boot able to finish them off with those Nemesis punches. Tyler does fall. You can't ever count out Ben HD, but eventually the 4 players left from RMU take down the Eraser.
Now it's all about, are they going to, minimize the damage here? Give up forward spawns. Mew does have an artillery strike online. Coffee Addict does have this Cute City Rush. They're going to go ahead and let loose with it.
Does force RMU to move into the corner. Morningside trying to take advantage of that division with the Kitsune Rush. The Mrs. Form popped, fight back into it, but Mew in the Kitsune Rush is just so deadly and so fun to watch. My goodness, Mew with another 3-piece. How many times have I said that today?
I think that's number 5. I'm pretty sure that's number 5.
Been a lot.
It's been a lot. Bot Mason is going to say, you know what? I'm going to join the ball-capped Bastion Brigade, and we're going to have some fun too.
I love the alliteration. Always a fan of the alliteration. The Ballcat Bastion Brigade. Here they go. Bot Mason versus Mew. Morningside. What's the regroup Backing around. Oh no. RMU haven't clocked this. Here they come. BNHD runs in with the terror surge that's got everybody in it. Suzu has to be used. BNHD falls. This Tyler's able to take him down. Now Annihilation is a counterpunch option. Tyler's found 2. Didn't even pop that overclock, by the way. Those were just raw in the neutral railgun shots.
Well, a little less than 3.5 minutes here, Jeff. Basically, your war chest is gone. Lithium will have a coalescence to keep them sturdy. But Pixel Puppy has one of their own, and this Tyler overclock could be huge. High grounds could be at a premium, though.
You got caught out before the fight even started. Not ideal here for the Mustangs as they're scrambling before they just, well, no, they're just hemorrhaging. They're just hemorrhaging players at this point. Now there's only 2 of them left.
I mean, this is where you have to, cut your losses, give up the butt scratch. You're going to have a contest there. But HD has had high ground on their mind. They're going to go ahead and take it.
That is such an important pick. Now, can Morningside stop the forward spawns and they prevent the cap? Less than 2 meters to go, and the answer is no, I don't think so. The blue square is lit up. Morningside does win the fight, but that is a very, very important cap there for RMU.
It is, because when and if they get a flip, they're not going to have to wait there. And now they've got a straggler that they don't know is there.
Ooh, keep a sharp eye. Watch Pixel Puppy's respawn timer versus the bot get into the middle. Oh, nope. Pixel Puppy's got back spawned. Pixel Puppy's is going to be way far away from the rest of the team. This changes things for RMU. They have to respect that. I mean, Mason trying to keep... Yeah, they're trying to keep the Mustangs at bay with that artillery strike. And HD, I mean, just fearless as ever, just continues to run forward. Mason finds the ace, and I like the Boot's decision to try to push past the Orisa to take down Lithium, but the healing is just too good. Now the Terror Surge is there, and a Boot just gets obliterated. Morningside, bring this thing back. Now they're the ones with close spawns.
Suzu out, Swift Step is going to be available, baby? Yeah, they barely get out.
This is looking like a map 5, Billy.
Jeff, I mean, double support opens from both sides. Well, it's going to be RMU popping it first.
It is a very early engagement, but the slide in from Tyler, they're able to at least make some good on it, get a lot of damage done. Whew! But even with low health, BNHD turns around and finds the kill. 2v1 in trades, make it a 3-3 in favor of Morningside. Beautiful Kitsune Rush from Coffee Attic, and it's another dub.
So now we're going to have dueling coalescences. We're going to have the artillery strike that's going to buy them some room. But a Boot does have their Annihilation online. They're going to have to get in there, and Pixel Puppy is going to have to keep them alive.
It runs in with the Annihilation. Pixel Puppy's hot on their trail. You can see the healing of Fuda there, and Lithium doesn't stand a chance. No shot. A Moira can do anything about that. BNHD is now in deep and surrounded.
Well, this is going to be final fight plus whatever overtime we get. I mean, it's still contested. It was just contested. Now they're going to go ahead and get themselves out of there. Very, very dangerous position. They're gone. Bye-bye.
Well, I mean, Morningside only have to win one more fight, and we're going to map 5. I think RMU have to win 2, at the least, perhaps 3. Remember, friends, this was 100 meters to, what, 30? 20? I mean, it was such an overwhelming odds. Still 70 meters for RMU to cover.
So the big thing right now, artillery strike's going to stop it right now. Miu's going to put it right on the payload. And there's a... Oh my gosh, in the back line.
BNHD just drops off the high ground. Try to split this team in half, knowing somebody from RMU has to stay on the card. It was a beautiful decision from BNHD to put RMU in such a difficult, impossible situation. And that decision will force a map 5. Going down to our last map, y'all.
This has been epic. Morningside finally, rights the ship. I mean, they had a commanding start to this series, Jeff. And then RMU came back in spades and showed us why they are a championship caliber team, but not to be undone. BNHD laying waste with these javelins, the Golden Javelin, the Javi Award winner, I'll even call it. I'm coming up with names here. Absolutely having a fantastic time of it.
Oh, BNHD is having a spectacular map. I have a spectacular series, rather, but I mean, specifically had a really, really good push here on Colosseo. You see, I mean, just time and time again, each clip, it's just bit HD and they're killing everyone.
I love it.
Oh, we're down to one last map for our first game of Nationals. We'll see you on Hybrid. Don't go anywhere. Holy cow, we are kicking off Nationals with a bangers. We are about to head into Map 5 of our Navigators' first round at 16 match here in NECC Collegiate Overwatch. We're back at Chef and Billy here as we get into the final deciding map. It's been a hell of a series so far. Am I get banned for that now? Sorry. Oh, deleted.
Oh, deleted. Bye. See ya. I mean, I might as well say it too. It's been one hell of a series. So, yeah. That was a battle of attrition there. And BenHD has decided that violence is the way. Also being sneaky. Being cagey as an Orisa is not easy. But we saw it happen a couple of times. Positioning, and having the Kiriko. I think having Coffee Addict on that Kiriko, being able to throw Suzu, being able to swift step and keep the healing Afuda going into Ben was a big reason why they pulled themselves even here with the win on Colosseo. But now it's the hybrid. Potentially, our last map, there is possibilities of tying here. So, map 6, perhaps. Who knows? We'll see how this goes down. But here is our map pick, Jeff. It's going to be Eichenwalde. I am actually kind of stoked about this.
I'm very excited about this. I love casting this map. This is one of my favorite maps in the history of the game. I absolutely adore this map. This was the first DLC, if memory serves. This was the very first thing released post-game. Before any new heroes, before Ana, I believe Eichenwalde was added, if my old brain serves me right. Anyway, taking a look at this. Yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a comeback. We saw the Orisa not working so well on Suravasa, on Suravasa, there for Morningside. They come back to it with Colosseo, and holy cow, worked out splendidly. Do we see that continue heading into Eichenwalde?
Well, the problem is that, I mean, while we saw RMU try to get some high ground control, the positioning and the movement of BenHD, I think that was a big difference maker in timing. Once again, also having the Kiriko there, I think the Kiriko was key
part of it
to keep Ben up. So, yeah.
It allows Ben to be a lot more confident when they push in, right? Especially, I mean, the timing of when they're going to use Rush and when the Suzes are being thrown in is so important. And it's something that Mustangs have continued to excel at. And one of the biggest reasons they're able to tie us up there on Colosseo and turn that one around, the timing of the engagements from BenHD and the rest of the Mustangs has been spot on.
Big love to Caroline, by the way, the Observer, all season long for the past couple of seasons. She gives us these beautiful pictures that we see in game. She just highlighted one area that I'm looking at right now. You know, if Morningside, do lose this first point, it's going to be, high ground control. I mean, is that what RMU is going to be looking at as it stands right now? If they come out with this, which would be a complete deviation from what we've seen so far, they're going to try to take BenHD out of this series with the help of a Chinese physicist. And I cannot wait to see what's going to go down here because May is still in a good spot. She's just not favored right now. So we'll see how this goes down.
I mean, it's trying to section off BenHD from their healers. I mean, that is pretty much their sole goal as a Mave here. We also get Ace on their 5th hero of the night. So another new look to accompany Mew on the Bastion.
Lots of front-end damage. Jeff. And I mean, now we're looking for walls. Walls are going to be huge, and forcing Ice Block is not what you want to see.
And the wall's a little too far back. You can see Lithium is still able to get LOS. Ben falls back into the room. A mistake that has been made before. Robert Morris has done a good job on capitalizing, but they're not able to push in past the damage coming out from you in this tank configuration. Pixel Puppies try. Face the business in and is going for it. And now, here comes BenHD with all those final blows. Woo! And yet another. BenHD loves shish kebabs. That's what I've decided. Just loves to skewer things.
I mean, skewered food is noms. I can fully attest to that. That's an early window.
Very early window. Javelin spin. Man, she just has to settle the hide on these stairs. Not ideal, because you're still in LOS. Yep, ends up jumping down, safely rotating to regroup with the rest of the team. Meanwhile, RMU have made their way onto the objective. Oh, BenHD went that way. Okay, pops the Terror Surge. Doesn't work this time. Mutant finds a pair, though. That wasn't supposed to happen in a 5v3. Suddenly, this fight's looking a lot more winnable for the defense of the Mustangs, especially with that Coalescence going. Mew finds 2, and that is just the May left here on point. Blizzard? Nope, not going to cut it.
Nope, they actually end up surviving the snowfall.
If Tyler doesn't die there, that might have actually won it for him.
It's just a pixel here. That good God, Mew!
Oh, that was a grenade combo. Mew grenade combined with Ace on the Junkrat. Oh my, double trouble.
Oh no.
Ball is good, but HD is separated this time. It had enough room to move into that small room, so RMU are given chase. Fortify used from Ben HD to back up into the heels. There comes the terrorist search on the back of a javelin spin. Tires blown up. Ace is blown up. Ubuntu sacrificed themselves for this. Could it be enough? Not looking likely here as Bot Mason just gets mowed down. A rare miss from Ben HD with the energy javelin. Still forces Tyler into a corner. One v one on the point. No, it was a 2v1 on the point. There was still Coffee Addict there. Ben HD had 0 worries. At the beach to hold that one off, and RMU running out of time. 75 seconds here in map 5 for them to find a way to break open point A. They do only need 33%.
Yeah, they've got both their support ultimates, so I mean, the Kitsune Rush should get them onto the point and build till they're up to another Blizzard. They just got to be right. They just got to place it just the right way.
That was it. Kitsune Rush combined with the Matrix just the right time to catch Mew off guard. Mew. Terror Surge picks up yet another one. Coalesces to back him up. Comboed for the upteenth time tonight, and it's working out well once again.
43 seconds left on the clock. Mew's going to have another artillery strike to blow them out of the water. And oh no, Vilives gets stuck behind enemy lines. That's going to be, 20 seconds here before they can possibly make another decent push onto the point. So Mew's going to be able to section them off with this artillery strike. Bot Mason needs to get theirs online, and Tiller needs to start landing some right clicks in a hurry.
Go on, Mew. Where are you going? Never saw it land. Okay. Down to 10 seconds. A boot with the Terror Surge. Good up on DPS ultimates if they can survive long enough to use them. There comes the artillery strike out of Bot Mason. Got 2 within their sights. And Coffee Addict. Joe just gets hit right on the dome with one of those. Bot Mason is low, but it's still up front and personal in this fight. And it's caused Ben HD. Expected tire is out. Ben HD survives with so low health. A fitting end. But they give up the cap, Billy. They give up the cap.
But how? Why?
That was a colossal C9.
That's monumental. It's bigger than the Castle Keep here. It's bigger than all of Eichenwalde. That's an entire vat of spaghetti on the ground. They had the fight won, and they don't have a toe on the point. Now they've got to worry about high ground contest and another 2.5 minutes.
Just like me, they were so concerned within the team fight, they took their eyes off the prize. So they rush from the high ground. Oh my god, Bidashi just leaps from the top rope of the Terror Surge. Ooh, turns around, never mind. The Orisa wants Pixel Puppies and gets what they want. Still, Mew falls in the back. It's 3v3. Bidashi still has a Kitsune Rush, though. Woo!
Yo! Okay. I mean, this engagement here for Robert Morris University needs to be clean. It needs to be well thought out. It needs to start with a window. Don't put them both out at the same time. Pixel Puppies is under a lot of pressure here. I'm not sure who is laying into them, but there goes the window out first.
Side's target focus has been so good. My Lives cancels the Coalescence. The perfect opener here for RMU as they make their way into point B. Giving chase on to finish. The entirety of Robert Morris University hunts down what has been the bane of their existence on Eichenwalde.
For every map that they've lost today, the Ben HD has been the reason why they've won. So, I mean, I think they finally decided that, you know what? Maybe the Orisa shouldn't be living.
Uh-oh.
And, well, I'll tell you what, Bot Mason is going into the back line saying, I'm going to have fun.
Ace was trying to sneak and just gets snuck up on by Bot Mason. Oh, no. The hunter became the hunted. Nice javelin. They go all the way across. Nope. Bidashi put Pixel Puppies down in the water. Going for a swim. It is a nice hot day. Turns around. He's going to finish off bot base. Another clock in the back as Tyler wants to bring this back. Mid HD is very low, but still Tyler can't find the pick. It's a Kitsune Rush late, and there's no more time left on the clock. I think it's as far as we're going to see him get. Nobody's even close to this point.
Okay, are we sure this time? Are we sure we're sure? Just making sure. Okay.
I mean, we were sure that the Mavs won the fight the first time. I mean, the Mustangs, excuse me, won the fight the first time, but unfortunately, yeah, they just forgot about the point.
Such things do happen in our beautiful game. Other things that happen.
All the way to the highest level.
Bit HD also having a very fun time here. I like the Junkrat though. In combination with the Bastion, that's a lot of front end pressure. That I mean, honestly, if they stick a toe in there, we're already in the attack phase here for Morningside. But as it stands, they get what almost out. They just outside the castle keep. So I mean, there's a lot of work here for the Mustangs to do.
That was it. I think BHD just circled around and didn't get back onto the point in time. While that tire was coming out, may have just been pushed up front. Yeah, the cap happens before the rip tire's unleashed.
Yeah, and I think that it was a Boot and Ben HD that were in the little small clock tower room. They're battling it out. Lithium had let loose with the coalescence to keep him up. My word. Just a couple of steps and I mean they win the map, but as it stands, I mean Abu, gets them basically all of point B. So I mean this is, defensible for Robert Morrison. They brought the May back out, so they're gonna try and curtail the excursions coming from basically the May is who is that up there? Is that Pixel Puppy's up there? I think it is.
Yes. There's Pixel Puppy's hiding up top. As the Swift step to get away if they need to. Look at that. I mean, just a great angle for healing and Suzu's. Out of LOS and everybody behind them. NHD falls. Good opening start. Find Mew to start things off, and then just don't have the punching power. The Mustangs don't have the punching power to get through.
I mean, both the Kirikos on 48%, 49% respectively. I mean, they're pumping the heels out, but Pixel Puppies is just in a sneaky spot. They're gonna have to send somebody up there to dislodge them.
It may take Coffee Addict or Lithium going up there. I think Lithium could reach up there with a fade jump. We'll try to devalue the attack configuration coming in from the tank configuration, that is. NHD drops Javelin Spear, goes up face to face here with a Butte. We got an erase of battle, but using theirs to disengage. Ooh, down to about 75 health. The bot Masons bails him out. Oh, doesn't even use the Ant Matrix. Thought they might have dropped that for a second, but good discipline out of RMU. They're able to hold on to that valuable tool. It's a Kitsune Rush thrown out first. Very low health bars here for RMU as they make sure that the clock tower is cleaned out. Now they're responding Kitsune Rush, but Morningside are already down 2. They're going to have to fight this out from behind, and it's not happening. Flawless hold so far here from RMU.
Minute and a half off the clock there, Jeff, and now you're coming in with this Coalescence. You're going to come in with the Terra Surge as well.
Risky.
They're looking for Ben HD. They don't fight him, so I mean, now they got to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, that was a risky move from a Boot to try to find that kill. Boot goes down, and that's the point.
Javelin spin's going to be so important here. They have to know that this Blizzard is online. Where is the May?
The spin's already been used. It's going to be a free Blizzard at the moment if they wanted to throw it in. Back visor from the outside. Forced back. Javelin's been devaluing that one out of ace. Still, Pixel Puppies falls. Blizzard was thrown on the point. I'm not sure Tyler got much with it. Still, BitHD falls. I think they're the only victim of the Blizzard itself. No progress just yet.
Now it's time to think about changes. I mean, you've got the artillery strike online. Honestly, the Junkrat was working. I think that you've got to go with something a little bit more front-ended. Tiller has been putting up some seriously good walls here. In their defense, we are about 75 seconds away from Robert Morris taking the win here, 3-2.
Here to open things up. Forces out an Immortality Field early. Coffee Addict could come up on the Kitsune Rush. It's the plan. New early pick. They went down first in that last fight. Oh, it's been HD fallen. Vitalize fights Coffee Addict as well. They will not get to use that Kitsune Rush on this attack. Another good hold. This is going down to one last chance for the Mustangs.
I mean, just going to have the continuing rush. And, I mean, Pixel Puppies can go first and completely devalue any kind of movement, especially with this Terra Surge. With 36 seconds left, they're going to have to devalue it. They're going to have to focus down the... Oh, no, he's clocked off.
Swift step into Suzu and BHD. Still standing tall, but Mew falls. First fight once again, first to go. Coffee Addict is down. The rush didn't make it out. BHD still stands, but the ace is gone. Bob Ace is able to pick up one. Terra Surges, Javelin spins into an Amp Matrix. Too much damage coming at him. No shot, you live through that. Not even with a Mora at your back. The Blizzard will force out the fade. Lithium is done. The map is done. The series goes to Robert Morris University Academy White.
What a series we have just been treated to. Folks, this is some of the best team play that we have seen. The picking, the counter picking, the reliance on a singular hero in Mew. Oh my word. This has been one hell of a series. And at the end of the day, it is the team that stands tall from Robert Morris University Academy-wide. Absolutely edge of your seat action all 5 maps.
Well, and furthermore, I gotta give a shout out to a boot here. We were bragging about Ben HD all series long. You're gonna see Ben HD in a lot of these replays that we're showing you on the screen right now. And Abu comes out in map 5 and matches the Orisa. They were winning on the Ramatra. This is what we see a boot on here in Junkertown. That went in Robert Morris's favor. As they're able to stop this in final fight. What a brilliant end of this map. Oh my goodness. This whole series has been amazing. But for a boot to come out on the Orisa and match Ben HD on that pick and win it on that pick, I mean, huge shout out. God, I mean, the stones on a boot.
I want to throw out for Pixel Puppies. That high ground control there on their defense of Eichenwalde was inspired. And, I mean, it forced a lot of cooldowns just to try and deal with the Kiriko. So, I mean, you know what? This was 10 players playing their butts off, and we just got treated to a gem, Jeff. We just got treated to a gem.
This is how we kick off Nationals. This is collegiate Overwatch at its finest. Oh, and it's an honor we got to have these two teams for you on stream and show off these amazing players. I mean, again, I don't care if it's Navigators or Legends. They deserve to have their stories told. Man, what an awesome match we got. Kick off Nationals. We're just getting started, y'all. We're just getting started.
It was pure Overwatch. There's no other way to put it. This is Overwatch at its purest. And, I mean, it was just fantastic. It was beautiful. It was just so awesome. This is how we got to where we are. My word. The night's not even over yet, Jeff. The night's not even over, and we still have a LAN in the beginning of May. Oh, my word. We got it on the play for.
Yes. All culminating into May Madness taking place at the Esports Stadium in Arlington. First weekend of May. And man, it's going to be a fun 2 weeks leading up to that point. But that does do it for our first match of the night. We're going to take a little bit of a break. Give time for a couple of new faces to come in. We got Sam at 2 Try Hard Ray taking you through our next match. Oklahoma Christian University taking on Purdue Still. NECC Nationals continues. Don't go anywhere.
It has begun. The national stage is happening, and we are here to witness it at NECC. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Tonks. Joining me, none other than the phenomenal to try hard Ray. And Ray, what an evening we have ahead of us, right? It's Nationals. Everything, the best of the best are out here to prove who is going to be the true best, especially here in the Challengers stage. For our evening tonight, we have Oklahoma Christian Esports taking on Purdue Steel.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it all culminates, where your hard work through the fall and the spring semesters come together, and all these teams come and clash to prove once and for all who is the best of the best. This is the best time of year for collegiate Overwatch in NECC. With that, let's go ahead and take a little more microscopic view on these teams. Let's look at their rosters, starting with Oklahoma Christian Esports.
Yes, indeed. And we have Night Slash, we have Bubble, Zealous, Vanilla, and Dorothy PR. So a team that's obviously been through the ringer, through the fire and the flames, but one that's just had a pretty easy season so far. I mean, pretty much undefeated at this stage and looking to continue that streak going through the Nationals. And so now we take a look at Purdue Steel Ray, get an idea of who they're going to be working with.
Exactly, Sam. You mentioned that OC's been through the fire, been through the flames, but are those flames hot enough to melt the steel of Purdue is going to be the big question, as Purdue is known for having a great esports program in the Overwatch collegiate scene, whether it's the Challengers or the Champions division. They got some great teams out there, so they are not a team to be, looked down upon, despite them being the 13th seed in this bracket going up against the 4th seed in Oklahoma Christian.
Indeed so, but talking about the players, we have Tutel, Blaze, SM August, Goose, and Monster. Crazy lineup that we have going on here, and especially a name Monster who's going to be on the support. You can only imagine. Monster. Yeah, right? You can only imagine. And a lot of recognizable names that I see here as well from myself, like Blaze and Goose. In the scene for quite some time, ready to show up and of course try and take on the number 4 seed like you said. But again, another team that's just had their time and the spotlight. But when you're all sharing the spotlight now here on the national stage, it's going to be the one who is pulled out and pulled off to the side. That's what we're here to figure out, and that's what we're all going to start off with on our first map of the evening. Going to be a little cold, a little chilly actually, with Nepal, our control map.
Yeah, I'm actually, this is not normally a prototypical, first kind of map, so it's kind of exciting. Normally you expect, a Lijiang Tower, maybe we get a Busan here or there. Normally we don't start on Nepal, and I'm excited. I'm always that guy who's rooting for violence on this map, Sam. I'm always hoping we get Sanctum, man. I just love chaos, and that map brings its own brand of chaos to these compositions that we can see. Because the other two maps tend to be very standard in what we see. We tend to see brawl-type compositions, but we did recently have a new patch come out 2 days ago where there's been a buff to some tanks, like a wrecking ball, if you want to play dive on this map.
It's some change, right? Massive changes. I know that there's a lot of players out there who may be experimenting inside of the new season. We've even seen some nerfs as well to go along with it. Tracer, not quite as crazy, rating her back in just a little bit. But for OC Esports and Purdue Steel, it all starts here on the Nationals, round number 1 on Nepal, getting an idea of what our heroes are going to be looking like.
Yeah, we have Purdue Steel, who's lined up in that prototypical lineup you would expect with the Orisa, Lucio, Kiriko. However, OC Esports, they're looking to go a little bit more off-brand for this map. They're going to have Night Slash go over to the Sigma, and they're putting Bubbles on the Genji. So they're playing a little bit more poke. They want to keep their distance, allow Zealous to be able to take these angles, while Purdue Steel's trying to play a lot more hyper-aggressive.
Night Slash is hurting all the worse for it, rotating over to the other side, meeting them up on the high ground. Zealous is going to strike first. The pick off onto Blaze, but SM August has the trade, the main support of OC Esports. Oh, without that there, not much sustainability and not much that they can do to keep Night Slash alive, who, once again, is just getting chunked for a massive amount of their health. And they just see this as free reign. Look at what August is doing. They want to get right into their faces. be a little too much going on there. Needs to find refuge in arms of their team.
Oh, and just so much damage taken by Night Slash. Goes down. So if you're OC, you cannot afford to push into this fight, Sam.
No, you can't. You got to get out of there, and you're still being hunted. What an insane javelin that gives Toodle a chance to line up the shots and get rid of Vanilla once more. OC Esports, they're struggling right now, ready to get on the point. I mean, Zealous was the one who gave us that early initial pick, but it didn't translate into anything.
Yeah, they do have Night Slash going back over the arista, which I think is going to be the right decision, especially when you have to push into a small enclosed area like this. Sigma is just not going to have a good time being able to do that. So matching the Zarya is good, but in the meantime, Purdue Steel is just stockpiling these ultimates. We do get a pause, but it just feels like all of the odds are stacking against OC as they look to re-push in with maybe just a sound barrier at this point.
Hopefully, if they're actually going to be able to get there. I mean, you're at 91% away, but then you're also looking at Purdue Steel. They have a Terra Surge. They have the Kitsune Rush. And then Monster is also a smidge away from getting it online themselves. I mean, a 4% differential between the two Lucios. It's difficult to contend with, and that's not even counting the fact that Night Slash completely reset on their ult charge. That switch off on the tank, and Purdue Steel already at 50% as the tech pause about to come undone.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, Bubbles has not been able to get a lot of this ult charge on the Genji, which feels like that's your main win condition playing for the Genji, is getting this blade online. Let's see if Zealous can make a big play with this overclock.
We need to make something happen here. Ooh, Toodle's gone. Bubbles has found a target to get rid of. And Dorothy PR is going to make sure the team stays alive with that sound barrier. Zealous, a quick jump up into the sky and an overclock. Time to start taking whoever we can down. But Monster gets theirs. Sound barrier off in time, and Blaze is going to blow the competition away. Zealous still had enough of a railgun shot charge. Finally get rid of Monster, and up goes the Terra Surge, but right into the window Vanilla sees with this amplification matrix. Blaze is trying to shoulder the world on their shoulders. They're trying to carry the burden. Zealous is keeping the dream alive, and now Bubbles committing the blade just to make sure they get the point. But Ray, I mean, it's 97%.
Yeah, and you're going to get it all the way to 99. So Purdue Steel, at the end of the day, you're going to take that every day to Sunday, especially being able to pull out that blade. That's a huge win for Purdue Steel. Now all they're going to have to work with this next fight is the Terra Surge, and maybe you get this sound barrier online. But if Purdue Steel's smart, they'll go in here, get aggressive with this overclock before that sound barrier even gets a chance to come online.
Again, it's a decisive moment. And we're looking at the Sojourn to make this possible for Purdue Steel. Just at the edge of victory. Needs to set the foot over on top of it. Toodle's going to be captured by the Terra Surge. A quick rocket slide and a readjustment of that positioning is going to protect them from it. The amount of time this is taking to actually happen gave Dorothy PR the chance to build up towards the sound barrier. And not only that, they got rid of Toodle on the overclock.
Yeah, that's a big team fight win for OC to, only have to commit 2 ults to the fight. You still get the overclock out. But you're going to be, but this next fight's going to determine a lot. We're going to have a lot of ultimates online for both teams. We could, a fight could be determined by who gets more aggressive. And then after that, it's just going to become who's better in the ult economy, because you can get 2 fights out of this if you're Purdue Steel if you make this fast.
Talking about fast, the Kitsunes, the Foxes are absolutely going to make that a possibility. Blaze! Pulse Bomb goes into the ether. No one going to be damaged from it. And now here's the coalescence from Vanilla inside of the Terra Surge, though. Dorothy PR is going to falter. And SM August, the tank extraordinaire of Purdue Steel, is going to see this team and stand tall against OC Esports, taking closer and closer. But the tank extraordinaire has suffered a loss, has suffered the defeat, but the team is picking up the pieces, and they may be able to form the puzzle back just in the nick of time. The BR has nowhere to go, and now it's just making sure that this doesn't tick away. Try to fight for the reinforcements and try to give the blade a fighting chance. An edge here, maybe. It's sharpened, but guess who's back? It's SM August on the Doomfist. It's a battle of the Doomfists. But my goodness, Night Slash is out of here. Purdue Steel has round number 1.
with how close that map was, Sam. I mean, shout outs to Purdue Steel. That was very well played, but one has to think, how would that have changed if you're OC and you came out with the Orisa to begin with? They wasted so much time trying to play this Sigma, and it just never found its value. It matches the Orisa, and they play it so well into Purdue Steel, so one has to question that decision coming out on the Sigma, especially when this isn't really a map where you think of Sigma. If you do see Sigma on a map like Nepal, it's normally on Sanctum.
We still aren't even going to be getting Sanctum either which way. And OC Esports taking a lesson, a page, not committing the same mistake again, Ray. Walking out of the door with the Orisa composition. In fact, a pretty decent mirror except for the Genji. And Bubbles is going to try and make work once more, but Zealous continues to be that first blood differentiator, but throughout all of their efforts, it doesn't matter. Night Slash is gone, no tank. OC Esports has to try and struggle. And of course, with Blaze being the tracer they are, can quickly get back in the fight almost immediately. Purdue Steel collapsing on top of OC Esports and take first capture of this point.
Yeah, I mean, you will take the trade tank for DPS every single day. It's just very well played by Purdue Steel to not be affected by an opening pick like that and still be able to come back and fight strong.
And this is also looking strong too. Dorothy PR. Now without a Lucio, OC Esports, maneuverability is going to go along with it. Blaze is still being one to be that has been taken out, and Bubbles is doing a phenomenal job at disrupting the DPS lineup of Purdue Steel. Without that DPS, makes things so much more difficult to fight here for this team. But Goose is going to give us a Kitsune rush, and the recovery from Purdue is unreal, Ray. Both of the DPS were gone, and yet they still did not give up the point. But even more to the fact of the matter, no one fell besides the DPS.
Yeah, it was an extremely impressive team fight for Purdue Steel. Those supports, Goose and Monster, doing a great job of being able to pump a lot into SM August and make so much going and keeping just that beast of a tank alive of the Orisa. And that Kitsune Rush just came through so well for Goose.
It really did. So it came back out there. Ooh, Blaze, you get a reminder that gravity does work. Now Vanilla is going to use some Foxes of their own, hoping to have the same impact, but inside of the Terror Surge, Rocket Slide away. They still are holding on to the sound barrier, but it's not going to be in time to save August's life. Zealous popped the overclock just in the nick of time and took away Purdue Steel's tank. Finally for OC Esports, they're going to get control of this point. Not only that, Ray, I mean, you drew out sound barrier and the Terror Surge.
Yeah, but it did cost you 3 of your ults, Kitsune Rush, Sound Barrier, and Overclock. But getting out that Sound Barrier is a big deal because Bubbles has this Blade online for this next fight. So there should be no excuses for Bubbles not to find good value out of this Blade. I say that, and I'm hoping I didn't caster curse him.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, what a stick that was. But of course, you got the Kiriko out there, and a Protection Suzu is going to live up to its name in full. Bubbles waiting, biding their time, being judicious. Now the Blade is ready to go, and you're going to do it inside of the Terror Surge. Night Slash is going to be the one filling the kill feed, but Bubbles is not going to let this be without their own stamp being put on the mark.
Yeah, that's just a deadly combination because Blade sometimes has a hard time getting multiple targets. The Terror Surge is able to bring everyone into the same point, so it's just massive damage between Blade swipes and the ultimate release of that Terror Surge. And even in the meantime, Night Slash is able to let it go early because of the damage thrown down from the Blade.
This time around, though, from Tootle, ready to rip the overclock right off the bat. Get down onto the ground and onto the point. Try to swing it back into your favor. Almost right there. Just hanging by nary a thread. Do have Blaze in your backline, and now we're going to get the Foxes once more from Vanilla. This time, the path has been laid forward for OC Esports. They're walking confidently through it. Clean, easy. Round number 2 is going to go to them.
And I asked the question after that third map, how would things change if you just came out on the Orisa to begin with, and we get to see that play out in full. They 100-60 the next point, came back with a vengeance, but their teamwork for OC just seemed to be a little bit more on point. They weren't spread out as much as I saw them on specifically Sanctuary on the last map. They were playing a lot more tight, a lot more together. And that is the nature of this map on Village, where you're kind of forced to play together. But what a great way to get back on your feet after dropping the first map in. Now here we go. This is what I was waiting for, man. I love the chaos that this map brings. Unfortunately, looking at both of these teams, they aren't bringing out any chaos. OC, however, will be bringing out the Sigma. And this is the map I mentioned where I feel like the Sigma is at least viable.
We're saving the best for last here, Ray. Unfortunately, the chaos that may not be going along with it. Keep an eye on the Lucios, though. They may be the ones to surprise us. Zealous, an advantageous position, is going to give them all eyes. Look across their targets. Need to make sure not to get zapped out of here. This time, though, it's not Zealous. It's going to be Night Slash to get the first pick off. And Darthy PR winning up against their mirror. Going to shatter it in front of their face. Reduce Steel, no choice to back off.
Yeah, and to me, that was the first fight only, but right out the get-go, Purdue Steel is kind of falling into the trap that OC fell into in the first map. They just kind of split up, and if you're going to play an Orisa composition with this Lucio where you're trying to be hyper-aggressive and getting picks fast, you cannot afford to split up. You guys have to all be together, coalescing on targets, as Smogus is now going to swap over to that Junker Queen, and Goose is going to go over to the Moira, so that's only going to more emphasize them needing to stick together as a unit.
Stay together as a team. Coordinate the offensive, coordinate the assault. Descend upon your target, but they're taking the roundabout way, going through their own spawn. Map has been flipped, and now we're gonna go all around the world. There's SM August X tearing down Night Slash. The quick switch over onto the Junker Queen is nothing short of perfection when you look at Blaze.
I mean, just absolutely insane. Having, you know, being able to swap over and match bubbles on the Genji is quite a scene from Blaze right from the get-go. And I like being able to pull out this Junker Queen, get in the face of these characters, this, you know, this Sojourn, this Genji, and just looking for quick, easy picks.
Quick shot from August. Blaze was getting hammered, and now Zealous is overclocked. There's a quick switch over. Blaze is going to try and control the narrative as best they can. A double kill now, and it's almost right there. Blaze is the ninja. Blaze is him. What a player. What an impact they have.
Look, I'm just going to throw this out there, Sam. Blaze swapped on to the Genji later in against Bubbles and already has ult before Bubbles, who now is going to swap over to the Junkrat. So a lot of damage that's going to be available. But I feel like with a lot of these smaller targets, the Junkrat is hard to, you know, throw a lot of that damage down because they can just dodge and weave a lot of this damage that Junkrat has available.
That may not even matter if the Junkrat is going to do anything because they're gone immediately. The sound barrier doesn't reach Vanilla. And so Blaze is just having free reign to have done whatever they wanted to do with that blade, but Vanilla does get over to relative safety, and relative being the key word here. New Seal? Who cares about the point? Let's just get rid of everyone real quick. Yeah, see a commitment of an ultimate from Night Slash. That had to have been nothing short of sheer desperation, Ray, to try and put things back in the face of Purdue Seal, but now you don't have that going into the next fights, unless you switch off to another tank.
Yeah, still in that point, and that percentage is a big deal for OC because you took the lead for a short second and didn't allow Purdue Steel to continue stacking the percentage. I mean, regardless, this is still going to be final fight for OC, and they're just going to have a Kitsune rush.
That's insane here from Purdue Steel. Smogus was so confident that this rampage was going to disrupt OC Esports, but no, nerves of steel from this team. You gotta thank Vanilla in that protection, Suzu.
Yeah, I mean, Kiriko is just such a good hero, having that ability and just completely cancels out an ultimate. However, you're going to be facing down Overclock, and you don't have a sound barrier to protect your team, so this could be deadly if Tootle gets a big Overclock going here.
This tire's going in, and it is blowing it all away, but somehow everything is still similar. Somehow everything is still right where it should be. Never mind, it's all in the favor of OC Esports. Blaze, you've done it once before, my friend, but how much more do you have left in you? The flip of the point, though, may have saved the day.
Yeah, it definitely buys time for Purdue Steel to be able to get back in. The overclock is now in.
Overclock is in. Doodle! The double kill. The headshots. Right on the razor's edge. But they are not going to let this team lose Nepal. They are not going to let this team fail on map number 1. Purdue Steel, what felt like the impossible right in front of them has just become possible. Map number 1, Purdue Steel.
Huge shout outs to Blaze on that map, being able to flip that point and buy the time for the rest of his team to get back and be able to allow Toodle to get this play of the game that we're watching right now is just ridiculous. But it was all set up by Toodle buying time with that point flip. So just wow, I'm just amazed right now.
I can't believe it, Ray. And then you go all the way back to your point that you made about OC Esports. Would things have been different had they walked out with the Orisa immediately? This map may very well have been theirs, Ray. But it all came down to a slight judgment call from Blaze, who managed to flip the point right underneath OC Esports' nose. But not only that, they stayed alive long enough to bring it into overtime. The rest is history, my friend. But make no mistake here, right? This was not an easy matchup for either of these teams. This wasn't just a walk in the park, a one and done type scenario. No, this went down to a 99-99 round number 3.
Oh no, I mean, I'm sure all of you guys watching right now were watching that first match where we had that Giga Banger 5 map. I feel like we could be in for another one after watching that first map. Both these teams feel evenly matched, and it might just come down to map picks and what I mean, if OC does want to run some Sigma-based compositions, the map picks are going to be extremely important for them. So we head into Escort, and they might be able to set themselves up for a good map to be able to play that Sigma. Like if you can maybe get Havana out there, maybe.
We obviously still a lot left in the tank here for both of these teams. And the national stage is already giving us, I mean, peak content in its best form. But yeah, looking ahead towards Escort at what particular map that we might like to see. And with what you're saying out of OC Esports favoring that Sigma style composition. Yeah, you want to go for those pokier style maps. Idealistically, Circuit Royale or Havana. Still have something of those in your back pocket. Or you may even try to completely disrupt your enemy and your opponent and go for one of those Orisa style maps, because I mean OC Esports was not missing a beat, it felt like, on a lot of these maps or in a lot of these hero compositions rather. I mean, it felt like they were able to at the very least match Purdue on the Orisa, and I think the best case evidence we had of that obviously was map number 1, and then going into map number 2 or round number 2, it was a very clear show of force and a reminder of where Oklahoma Christian Esports is sitting at in the seeding.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we talked about how Purdue is not a team to be messed with despite being labeled the number 13 seed in this bracket, and they already proved that in map number 1. We do have the new map pack in, but to just to give you an idea, OC actually banned Circuit, so that is like one of the better Escort maps to play Sigma. So to me, they've now picked Shambali Monastery, which to me, either they're going to continue to play this Orisa or they want to pull out Ramatra on his home map.
Different looks from this team in all sorts of different forms. Surprising choices to be made as well. Yeah, I mean, you're getting rid of Circuit Royale, a map where you really could have made Sigma work, but maybe this is some 200 IQ plan, Ray. I don't quite understand, but it's not like it's all doom and gloom here just yet. And They have to have that plan in their back pocket for the reasoning why we go to Shambali Monastery in the first place. Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
where they
Sigma can also be played, especially defensively on this map, but it's just Circuit's more of a map for them. But maybe they just realized after, what happened on map 1 and then map 3 that the Sigma long term just wasn't the play for them in this series, and it might not be their path to victory. So they're gonna have to look to find another one, whether it is match the Orisa, maybe go into a Junker Queen mirror, but those are just only theories. We're only going to be able to know how correct we are is once we get into this map.
I mean, at the very least tonight, Ray, we've seen 3 different tanks on one map, which is more than I can say out of what we've gotten in quite some time. So the new season is obviously having some sort of impact and some sort of effect. But it is map number 2 of Shambali Monastery. We haven't quite left Nepal just yet. Purdue Steel is in the lead 1. OC Esports looking to try and tie things up here on their map choice.
Ready for battle.
As I want to focus on the defense here because we know this is exactly what they're rolling out on, and not gonna lie, I'm getting some interesting vibes. Reinhardt on my Shambali Monastery in 2024. I mean, he did get that range buff to his Earth Shatter, but I never thought that was going to be enough. But I mean, if they're just going to go full on close spawn, just try and waste as much time as possible, this is the composition to do that with.
I never thought I'd get the tactical sneaking Reinhardt either, Ray. They're going to try.
You got to be sneaky. You can't let them know you're there.
They're going to try and surprise OC Esports. And I think maybe just the sheer shock of seeing Reinhardt alone may be enough here. But the wall goes up, nobody isolated or separated. And now you get to outrange this Reinhardt. And look at that shield. Look at the health. It is ping-ponging back and forth. And it's already almost gone. You get to charge in, wall them off, start swinging the hammer. But Esperanca doesn't even get to do that. They need to commit the immortality field just to keep them alive. And listen, I think it was a phenomenal idea in theory, but maybe in practicality, you got the couple of picks, but you're still trying to deal with those spawns right in front of you.
I mean, they were already continuing to waste a lot of time, Sam, so I don't blame them for attempting this. They get another pick onto the Genji, and now that's just going to be cleanup. The Coalescence used, but I imagine that once you swap over to a new comp, you're going to...
What is going on here?
What?
Goose got a double kill? What? And Monster is still here? Delaying things. Maybe delayed it for a little bit too much. Lamb to the slaughter, but Purdue Steel is making the switch offs. I mean, Goose coalescing at the last second there, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because you're going to swap over the Kiriko and you're going to go over to the Orisa. So this is where things get dangerous for Night Slash. Purdue Steel's going to look to get much aggressive again, and Blaze on this May still going to be a very hard defensive piece. Look at that wall.
It's going to try and stop the damage incoming with a black hole, and now a amplification matrix set up in one of the most ideal positions. Purdue Steel needs to take cover at the corner, at the bend. Another ice wall comes up, and a Zealous is going to be lost on the flip side of this here. Kitsune Rush from Vanilla, though, should allow them the necessary speed and attack damage boost, but look at how close that point is to point B. We're gonna go up in the air with a Gravitic Flux, not gonna do jack diddly. Purdue Steel is made of sterner stuff, and not even gravity can crumble. Less than a meter, Ray.
It's not going to do jack diddly. I like that.
I'm not gonna do Jack Diddley.
Yeah, this just flows off the, especially like Toodle too. I love that name. Just makes me think Toodles like when you leave. But that was just a really perfectly played fight for Purdue Steel. Smogus getting that pick off early onto Zealous was a big deal because Overclock could have been committed into that fight. And now you have 4 ults to work with here. Monster has to be ready with the Soundbar. You cannot die early in this fight.
All right. Kitsune Rush is going to be the initial ultimate to rip the bungee cord off. Oh, this is just clinical. This is surgical. A spear right down the center onto Night Slash. Sending a message back the heck off OC Esports.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about surgical. That javelin basically looked like it was performing a tracheotomy there, just putting a hole straight in the throat of OC Esports. And now all the pressure is now on their backs. Zealous going to have the overclock, but if you can build up to this ant matrix and drop it, like you mentioned, how good of a position this window can be right here in this hallway, you're going to be in a great spot, and maybe you can set yourself up for the point capture.
Bubbles almost has the tire. This is OC Esports' best chance to get that payload to point A. It's almost there. Now we need to wait and see what happens with the amplification matrix. But also, we're gonna have the Toodle overclock blown up by the Rip Tire. And now Zealous is gonna try to blow things up with the overclock, and it looks like they're actually gonna make this happen. Monster is gonna give out the sound barrier, but it feels like a dying gasp from Purdue Steel to stop the inevitable. You may be in overtime, but time is not over for OC Esports. Point A is theirs.
So much desperation in that fight from OC. They had to throw 4 ults into that fight, Sam. With Purdue Steel coming up on a Kitsune Rush and a Terra Surge, getting this high ground, I mean, yes, you're initially going to take it, but with Purdue Steel coming back, it's going to be so tough to be able to push this cart with limited ults to be able to throw into this fight.
Back down onto the ground and then chase them away. Maybe not even push them into the ground. Push them down onto the ground, push them into the ground, rather. But Zealous still has the trade-offs. Oh, what a boop! To stop the Terra Surge, they had the idea in their head. They're still caught just the right amount of damage. And SM August is just gonna clean them up, put them out to pasture here. And then you're looking over at Night Slash with no escape plan or forms of survival. OC Esports feeling the pain.
I mean, you are down Toodles, so OC Esports has an opportunity here to start, you know, pushing and taking positions where they don't have to worry about Toodle being on the off angle, looking for snipes on their head. Night Slash has the Terra Surge to be able to work with here, but I'm liking this Kitsune Rush from Goose to be able to sustain the team here.
And sustainability is going to be the name of the game. Night Slash is going to try and get ahead of this Kitsune Rush with the Terra Surge. Did a lot of damage, but no one to follow up to make the picks happen here. You've lost Bubbles in exchange for Monster, and Ilios is always going to be felt. The ripple is there, but maybe it's going to be pushed back. A ripple turned into a wave by Purdue Steel. OC Esports is running out of time here, Ray. Less than 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they'll probably get one good fight and then like a staggered fight. Bubbles is going to swap over to the Genji, but I don't know, going into this comp, it just feels like Genji has a hard time getting on top of these targets. Tracer can duck and dodge, Lucio and Kiriko can do that. Really, Toodle's your only big target for Genji to get on.
Zealous is making the statement right here, right now. This ends now. And if it's by anyone else other than Zealous, I would not have believed you. But it's still far from over, Ray. We are still about to enter into overtime, and the card just over halfway.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to take one more fight to get the second point, but you don't have any ults. You have to hope Night Slash can quickly build to this Terra Surge, because you're going to be facing down the spear of this Toodle overclock, and Toodle has come through. Just was the hero on map number 1.
There it is. Far from over. Toodle gonna make the same impact that Zealous had with their own overclock. OC Esports gonna respect this. In goes the Terra Surge, and out goes Smogus, and the Night Slash with the Javelin Spear to follow it up. Pick off onto Blaze. And again, it's the last second after everyone is already gone that Monster is gonna use their sound barrier. But at this point, the damage has been done, and you're trying to buy yourself as much time as you can. But again, time is not on your side. OC Esports doing it once more.
Yeah, the one thing I was a little worried about, good thing they didn't, I was worried Goose is going to throw that Kitsune Rush into that fight, hoping to keep things alive, but I think it's smart to save that to live to fight another day. But in the meantime, OC Esports is stockpiling these ults. They put themselves in a great spot despite finishing both first 2 points in overtime to get this across the finish line. And Shambali is one of those maps that's not so easy to finish.
That deflect from Bubbles, dealing out some damage of their own. Disruptor shot, gonna be coupled up here with the Kitsune Rush. Reduce Steel, really wanting to get rid of someone, maybe a pickoff, but the ebb and flow is inherently understood here by OC Esports. Back away, let it be used, and now we get to go in with one of our own. And on top of that, we have almost all of the ultimates online, and the card is only continuing to get closer and closer. Vanilla's ultimate was just the start here, but Smogus has stopped the sound, has stopped the blade. The dragons sheathed once more, and Tool's
Ajax!
overclock. Unreal, the Ajax! No way, no shot!
That's
this
the power
happen?
of Toodle, baby! Finding the Ajax on to Darth, and that pretty much is all the wind in this sails. I mean, you got touchers. No, you don't.
No.
The dash comes in too late, and Bubbles is not able to keep that alive.
Score.
A phenomenal show here.
Switching sides.
We had the ideas in our head, right, Ray? You use the Kitsune Rush, buy the space, then you use all of your other ultimates to get the bag and to get the finish line and complete the circuit of Shambali Monastery. But no, this team, OC Esports, when they have an idea, and if you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. And Toodle had to do it again on this map, where they saved the day for Purdue in Nepal. They're saving it here on Shambali, and right there, oh, it's picture perfect.
I'm so glad they got caught. But now the win condition for both teams is set. Great distance for OC, 69 meters on that third point. Gives them a great win condition. But if you're Purdue Steel, I would also be thinking like, this is a very obtainable distance for us, and we were pretty much dominating those first 2 points until we dropped the spaghetti a little bit on those final overtime drives. So I think, they got to be feeling good about themselves. OC Esports, no surprise, they're not going to swap anything, keeping Bubbles on this Junkrat, especially defensively. Junkrat can just set up on the high ground and just continue to pelt with a lot of damage. But this time, Purdue Steel's going to come out with the Sigma of their own with the Kiriko Zed. This is a very interesting support lineup. I mean, lots of heals available from Goose, and the damage available with that Discord ult from Monster could be a deadly combination in tandem with Blaze, who's on the Echo.
Hasn't been working out for OC Esports, but Purdue thinking that they can make it actually happen for themselves. Hopefully this isn't going to be what causes them their defeat here on the map of Shambali Monastery. They are gaining inches, they are gaining space. They're not losing out on as much time as they managed to inflict upon OC Esports on their attacking half. Oh my goodness gracious. You always see it right there. The railgun shot and then Blaze to follow up with the execution. Night Slash is out of here, and this is all just free real estate for Purdue.
As Night Slash is now going to match the Sigma, they're like, haha, this is what I've been waiting for. But having the Discord orb from Monster makes this composition from Purdue Steel that much more potent. And look at this, they're already rounding the final corner.
Someone's gonna have to stop them eventually. One shield in exchange for another, trying to gain as much overhealing as you possibly can. But it's right there, point A, 4.07 meters. And Toodle rips the head right off of Vanilla. Running around without it, and now Goose is gonna give the Kitsune Rush a quite honest possibility. And up from above, the focusing beam is just gonna be the immortality field. It only buys a couple of precious seconds for Night Slash. That may have been precious enough for OC Esports to get enough of the pickoffs here. Pessim August, half the half health. The healers are still alive to give them life. And now OC Esports is gonna throw in the Foxes just to make sure, just to be safe. This is 1.7 meters. That was scary.
Oh, that was absolutely disgusting work coming out from OC Esports. Using that cart just for the necessary cover they needed to keep themselves alive long enough to find the pickoffs from Purdue Steel. Purdue Steel will be coming back, however, with 4 gargantuan ultimates coming in this next fight. Looking at Blaze on this Echo, who do you look to dupe in this composition? Do you go Sigma for double Sigma? Do you look to go Kiriko to try and get a Kitsune Rush online, which can be just such a powerful ultimate?
There are different choices here for Blaze, and we're about to find out once they accomplish the final 5% they have left to go. OC Esports is going to buy a heck of a lot of time off the back of this amplification matrix, but as it fizzles away, Purdue Steel sees this as an opportunity to go in, and it is going to be the Sigma to have that double Sigma and provide so much shielding. In goes the Gravitic Flux from the original Smogus, and now Blaze is slowly working their way towards one of their own. It's taking a little bit too long for them to actually get to completion and make that happen, but as they're getting out back into the Echo form, the sticky grenades and the focusing beam, just what Purdue Steel needs to get to point A.
Yeah, and Purdue Steel played that clinical, Sam. They only committed the Flux and the dupe to get the Flux, even though they didn't get one. But you didn't throw in everything. You weren't in like that overtime desperation mode that OC was. So you're in a great spot to have ultimates to be able to push the issue on this next point. Even though Bubbles is going to have this Blade online, you have a lot of tools to be able to deal with this, especially with this Transcendence, because I don't think Blade is going to be able to out damage the healing from Transcendence.
Alright, Fox's Blades, popped, Transcendence, now used. Blade, nullified. Bubbles, nothing out of this. The team is alive. Now we're going to see what NECC's Gravitic Flux is able to do here. And honestly, had you told me that they didn't use it, I would have believed you. OC Esports is crumbling under the pressure that's in front of them, but Smogus was way too aggressive, way too far forward. Just cost them everything there for Purdue Steel. Backed off and pushed away.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate big mistake coming out from Smogus, who's now going to go over to the Reinhardt. What are we looking at here for Purdue Steel? Completely swapping it up, going full-on Brawl composition now. Toodle's still going to stay on the Sojourn, so you still have to deal with this incoming overclock, but they have completely reset everything to swap off the comp to get aggressive into the face of this Sigma composition.
And now they gotta even try an amplification matrix. But in the 2 seconds that Smogus' shield was gone, Zealous is gonna pounce. And whatever Purdue Steel was thinking there, Ray, what are they thinking?
It's about getting on top of this Sigma/Sojourn Baptiste kind of idea and not allowing them to have space to be able to just unleash all the damage available to them. But I mean, the Ant Matrix just bought all the time they needed and was able to kill off the Ryan, so you really didn't get to see them even attempt to do that. So this is the fight where we're going to see if this composition has the value that they're expecting.
It's going to have some form of value because OC Esports, what do? They just back away and you just play the waiting game against Purdue Steel. Who's forced to back up and bring the card up further before you can accomplish anything, it feels like. Doodle now inside of the overclock, but Zealous has one of their own. Out goes the Immortality Field, but Bubble's already built up to the Blade again. What a charge and a pin on the Genji. You question Smogus, Reinhardt? Well, there's your answer, my friends. Answered in full. Purdue Steel.
No, you can't act like I went Reinhardt because I knew I could pin the Genji. Yeah. No, that is not why you go Reinhardt. But I digress. Still very well played by Purdue. Toodle did a great job of that overclock once again. Night Slash will have this Flux available, and they can combat with the Ant Matrix. Monster, however, has a good counter with the Sound Bearer available to them. But I can't wait to see this new Reinhardt shatter with the increased range.
Right there. Ooh, and a little Discord Orb drains the life away from Zealous. It's time for Smogus to just walk right into it. Here comes the Sound Barrier to see their way through the Gravitic Flux from Night Slash. Now you're going to try and get in their face. In the first place, out goes the Earth Shatter. Maybe even to shatter the hopes and dreams of OC Esports. It's dangerous territory for Smogus. They need to get their health back up. But more importantly, they need to survive so Blaze can use this Dragon Blade. And right there, the golden gates of victory. The
Little touch!
No one stopped it! No one! The Dragon Blade not even necessary! OC Esports denied once more. Purdue Steel taking their map pick, Shambali Monastery.
This ends.
Just, the adaptations we're seeing out of Purdue Steel time and time again is really starting to show itself. Toodle getting to play the game. That is 2 in a row for that man on the Sojourn. Absolutely just cracked on that Sojourn. But, I mean, I'm kind of digging the Rhine. Like, it's, not the, sexy kind of Orisa pick, you know what I mean? Or not like what everyone expects meta-wise, but it did what it needed to do. It was bothering that Sigma. That speed boost just kept getting in their face. There wasn't a whole lot they could do there, and they just played with aggression, and I just was a big fan of that, especially combating with the Genji on it, who if you do get these picks, you can just continue to get these dash resets.
The only thing I care about in the world, Ray, is that we are getting Reinhardt. Okay?
It feels like it's been a little too long without any Reinhardt, right? Like,
No, I couldn't agree more. And yeah, there's the insane Earthshatter right here that completely changed the whole nature of this game. And that right there was what secured the victory for Purdue Steel. And you see Blaze holding on to that Dragon Blade for such a long time. They didn't even need it. Again, Purdue Steel, it happened both times on Shambali. On attack and on defense, someone just wasn't able to touch the payload. And that right there is a signed, sealed, and delivered letter from Purdue. They are now on Series Point, Ray.
yeah, I mean, they are proving that underdog story in the bracket. Like you mentioned, this is number 4 versus number 13, and they are just looking good. So for OC, they're going to have to try and find some new kind of ideas, some new plans. Those 2 first maps were very close, so just some small adjustments is what we're going to need. They're going to have a little bit of a break to figure that out, as we'll be right back.
One more map is all that separates Purdue Steel from a series win here, the Nationals Challengers stage. Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Sam Tonks. Joining me is 2Tryhard Ray. And Ray, we look forward towards our final game mode, our final map, but of course it is Flashpoint, so we only have two choices, right? Suravasa or New Junk City, and I get the feeling that we have an idea of what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean,
could be
99
surprised.
times out of 100, it's always Suravasa, but you never know. You never know. For OC Esports, we talked about it. I mean, they have to come up with some kind of change to get back in the series and try and make this a reverse sweep and come back in the series. Purdue Steel, it just seems like when their backs are against the wall, they know how to make some really good adjustments to what OC is wanting to do, and it's been working out well for them. And yeah, I mean, we're not getting anything different from the map pick. I mean, it's Suravasa.
It is what it is. No New Junk City for us tonight. It's Suravasa always, now, and forever, right? But for OC Esports, this needs to be the map for them where the reverse sweep begins. Otherwise, it's the end of the road. It's the end of the line. That is going to be a Purdue Steel victory over them. Not the way that they want to go out in a 3-0.
That they do not, Sam. So it's all going to come down to this map. Can OC make the necessary adjustments to be able to get back in the series? I think a lot of this is just, I would focus a lot on Tootle. It feels like Tootle comes through with a lot of big plays, and if they could just get a lot of pressure on him, I think that could affect things a lot. As Purdue Steel coming out of the Junker Queen rush composition, which I'm a big fan of, especially on Flashpoint maps. So I think this could work really well. It is going into the Orisa, but I think it has a lot of value. It's just they're going to have to look to, get extremely aggressive and look for pretty quick pickoffs.
On series point, Suravasa is all they need to do to clinch victory. OC Esports back are against the wall. How they're going to handle against this Junker Queen rush style comp. Doodle, a little worse for wear. They're going to get back up and try to press the attack once more, but from Purdue Steel, feeling a lot more reserved this time around. Smogus is getting bullied. Feels like they haven't really been able to get onto the side just yet. Comes to protection Suzu to make sure that Night/Liz. OC Esports is alive. Monster is not. Clean headshot from Bubbles. Purdue Steel, they are losing more and more by the second.
Yeah, that was the big issue. Purdue Steel playing extremely passive in that fight. Because of that, Night Slash is 70% to ult, while Smogus is just crossing 30s. So you're not getting aggressive and allowing, all that damage to be unleashed by the Junker Queen, while Night Slash can just keep their distance and fire from far on that Orisa. So that's going to be your main issue for Purdue. They did not go in with any sort of aggression in that first fight.
Yeah, it felt like a wet noodle almost, Ray.
Yep.
Hopefully, things are going to be turned around this go from Purdue. And there we go. That's what we need to see. Press the attack, press the assault, press the fight. What we didn't need to see from Purdue Steel is them not getting any life whatsoever. A beautiful javelin. Nice slash. Turned around immediately. Rip the coalescence out. Purdue Steel, I would have to start saying maybe the adjustments need to be coming in now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like at this point, the Junker Queen not working out so great. You lose the first point, but it looks like they're going to commit and stick to it. They are coming up on both overclock and...
We're looking at our second flashpoint now. OC Esports, I mean, almost every single ultimate online. Bubble's just 6% away from accomplishing that mission, and OC Esports has so many tools in the chest. Purdue Steel dogged and wanting to stick with this Junker Queen comp. Monster's gonna give us the sound barrier, and Toodle snipes Bubbles, but Monster is gonna go for a dip in the ponds below. Thankfully, this Lucio doesn't really feel needed right now, but hanging on. They need to use their own Harmony Orb, but Goose is being bullied for the life of them. Wraith over there. Oh, and Smogus is gonna tank that Javelin Spear. Producio weathers the storm of all of the ultimates and come out the other side, the victor. All right, for OC Esports. Disastrous circumstance here, but disaster could have been turned into harmony. Zealous sees the pick off onto Toodle, and that's also going to be the overclock with it. Blaze can still turn things around with the overclock, or sorry, with the Dragon Blade rather. Now you've lost Smogus. Really not much of a chance that you're going to do, but they're still going to try and go for it. Instead, they're going to get Javelin spun into the corner. Eliminated right off of the rip. OC Esports comes back with a vengeance and Produce Steel. We're seeing some of the swamp offs happening here. Blaze got jack diddly off the back of their Dragon Blade. At the very least, you can say the same thing happened for Bubbles. They're now switching over to the Tracer, where they found massive amounts of success on this hero, who needs to transplant that success from the previous maps, but also needs to make sure that Toodle is not losing out in the battle against Zealous over and over. Zealous picking off this Sojourn every single time takes away any hopes of Produce Steel to actually make this work for them. And OC Esports is marching their way towards possibly taking the second Flashpoint. Still though, for Produce Steel, it's not all disaster. 3 ultimates coming back around. The only thing that worries me here, though, is this Rampage. When you have Vanilla on the other side, you're just looking to get in there quick. You need to try and draw out the Protection Suzu to get maximum value here in some way, or just get rid of the Kiriko. In the Terra Surge, middle of the map, spinning to absolutely nobody. Produce Steel using a heck of a lot to make this work for them. It had to have been done inside of overtime. They still have the Rampage, but the same issue presents itself over and over again. Right there. See, Esports needs to get back fast. Dark Fire's gone! Dorothy PR. Now, is it a reckoning time? No, it's not. But Bubbles didn't get inside of the Protection Suzu, and they bleed out on the ground. OC Esports denies the second Flashpoint. Produce Steel, making the Junker Queen rush style comp work for themselves. On the bright side, though, with the spawns being the way that they are, OC Esports just a little bit closer and beating out Produce Steel and allowing themselves to set up in a very clean high ground position. Bubbles giving us another look at the Junkrat raining down from above. Oh, so close. Blaze get hit by the first with the concussion mine, but didn't get caught inside of the trap. So pulls themselves away back into the safety of time. OC Esports not getting control of the point, and they're going to sacrifice a lot to make this happen. Dallas is going to use the overclock. And on top of that, they're going to get the Kitsune Rush along with it. Blaze's Pulse Bomb. Far too wide here. Though, Produce Steel has taken Dorothy PR, OC Esports has taken all Produce Steel. 42% though before Purdue lost this round, before they lost that Flashpoint. That is something that they can smile about. A new look for them, however. Smogus, Junker Queen, not doing it anymore. Not cutting what they need it to. Toodle, how are you alive? It's always the thinnest of margins for this player. But they got to get this overclock off. They haven't been able to do it. Zealous has been having such a judicious eye on them over and over. And this time, it may be the Junkrat that has sealed the deal. A Terra Surge from Night Slash. They're all locked away! But Smogus always sees their team through the darkest of hours. Produce Steel survives, they get the point back, but OC Esports, again, 71%.
That was so close to an Ajax, Sam. Like, he barely got that sound barrier monster just in time, but it was everything that Purdue Steel needed to keep themselves alive in that fight, and they're able to flip that point. One final fight to decide who goes up 2-1 on this map. Tire available for Bubbles and no sound barrier for Purdue Steel.
Getting closer and closer. Final fight territory here. Bubbles, what have you got for us, friend? What are you looking for? It's Toodle. Who else could it be? Dorothy PR has the sound barrier now as well. And finally here, Purdue Steel needs to survive. They need to get away. There's still a chance, Ray, but not if they can't get out.
Yeah, they can look to re-engage on this point if they can just stay alive. Oh, Monster goes down, and that will be the point. OC Esports 2-1 on Suravasa puts themselves on map point to keep their hopes alive in the series, Sam.
And it's even more advantageous for them surviving and living because look at how close they are to the next flashpoint. A small jaunt over, and they're already there. RNG not favoring Purdue Steel right now.
And very
OC.
limited ult options, Sam. I mean, you're going to have the ability for Toodle to go on an angle and look for a Sojourn ult, but OC has that Kitsune rush available to them, and Blaze is down.
Blaze is down. And Purdue Steel maybe following along with it relatively soon here. It's Toodle's time to shine with this! Night Slash tried to get to their face. But a Terra Surge is going to surge OC back into the spawn room.
Listen, Sam, when my internet went down and I was coming back, I just heard the beauty of your voice in my head as I was reconnecting. When the teams are against the wall, Smogus comes through for Purdue Steel, and he did it once again. 3 kills in that fight. Kitsune rush available for OC Esports to re-engage. Purdue Steel doesn't have a lot to work with, especially if OC Esports gets aggressive. But if they continue to be patient, Sam, Purdue Steel might be able to clap back with a Kitsune rush and a sound barrier.
Zealous is always the ringer for this team, time and time again. And then you're going to give them a Kitsune rush to go along with it. Really, what are you going to be looking for here? Except for to try and weather the storm. But this isn't just a storm. It is a force of nature. And his name is OC Esports.
I think you're in a situation where if you produce Steel, you'll take that. You get a nice, good 70%. Likeliness is if you win another fight, it's going to be tough for OC to be able to re-engage. They will have a sound barrier and a Terra Surge to work with, but I mean, you have a Kitsune rush available online from Goose, and that should be all the ammo you need to be able to send this across the line. In worst case, you throw in a sound barrier as the cherry on top.
Purdue Steel needs to win out in this flashpoint. This is match point, map point. Now, it is the Kitsune rush from Goose. Pull it away, pull it back, but Monster gets caught inside of the Terra Surge. Just straight it out, though, by Blaze, and now we're going to fight back with the Terra Surge of our own. PR had the sound barrier, but Night Slash is just too much for them to handle. It's just too much for them to do anything. And the same tail that was spun in the previous flashpoint. OC Esports still have a chance if they can get out.
Yeah, you lose Bubbles and Darth, and I think that's going to spell disaster for this point set, which is crazy to me, because Monster dies in that fight with sound barrier, and I thought that was all but over. But on the back of Smogus and Toodle, Purdue Steel is able to continue to forge this steel of toughness that has been this entire series. And now you get to bank that sound barrier for these incoming DPS ultimates.
Final flashpoint, and Purdue Steel has already here. They survived, they lived, and OC Esports, you can feel that they're struggling and suffering. Night Slash especially. Bobbles hit with the Javelin Spear, so close. Blaze wanted to be the executioner. Not gonna make that happen, but you gotta keep an eye on Bubbles again with this Riptire. Look, it's going all around this flashpoint, all around town, and all the way for the double. It gives Zealous now an opportunity to start shining themselves, and it's gonna be done and dusted here for OC Esports. But Dude did get 25% before falling.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't commit a single ultimate to that fight. And you got OC to use the tires. So I think you're going to take that if you're Purdue. You have a lot to be able to come back into this fight and re-engage with. If they use a Kitsune Rush on you, you have a sound barrier to counter it, plus DPS ultimates. And then you will get a late Kitsune Rush if you have to use it in this fight to be able to regain this point.
This is everything here. This is it. Final fight for OC Esports. Even more important. With them, it's the end if Purdue Steel takes it here. And Toodle may be making that happen. Here comes the overclock from both of our Sojourns. But it's Toodles to be the one to give Purdue Steel everything and more. OC Esports pushed away. But here's the kicker, Ray. They still got 2 big ultimates that they can try and secure this map.
Yeah, but that was a 3-for-1 exchange on the side of Purdue, so you'll take that if your OC forced out a lot. Oh, to the pulse bomb finds Bubbles.
Oh, it does. Here's the thing, though. Monster's out, and Darthy PR is going to be giving their team a sound barrier. Even more important for Night Slash with that Terra Surge, with the Kitsune Rush completely defanging this attack and defanging that ultimate. You're doing everything that you possibly can to get rid of Smogus, and it is working out brilliantly. Purdue Steel, they are not giving it up, though. They're going to take every single last possible percent and push them into overtime, because this is now final fight territory.
So now you know you're in a situation with the stagger onto Toodle. One final opportunity for both of these teams. And the only I mean, you're basically going to have Tire versus Overclock. So it's like just instant kills from, you know, that Tire finding value every time again. Toodles, normally it takes a second. Overclock gets going, then they find their kills. Can they make it happen?
No C9 this time around. Purdue Steel is not going to fall prey to that, but it's Bubbles now at the precipice of the tire. It's being rung. Blaze has seen it. It's gone! Toodle lands the railgun shot and gets the kill onto Bubbles. Now it's time for the Sojourn to be eaten pretty, but the Terror Surge is not going to let them go any further than this. What can Purdue do without their tank? OC Esports fighting back, and they are fighting like they need to survive, and they do, Ray. We now have a series on our hand.
Absolutely insane clutchness coming in from OC Esports. They're able to make those necessary adjustments, but again, it feels like, you know, it feels like deja vu, Sam. Because I feel like I'm looking at map number 1 again, and for the side of Purdue, I'm like, what if you just came out on that Orisa from the get-go? You know what I mean? It's just like, you might be looking at a 3-0.
That's what we're saying. It's like, teams are wanting to experiment. They're wanting to try out new looks, new forms inside of this new season. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. There were times from Purdue Steel, I mean, obviously, they were able to take up at least one of the flashpoints using this Junker Queen composition. Just wasn't enough to really translate it into anything more. And then the tale is being told right here, obviously. What would have happened? The Bubbles Rip Tires are just enough to make the difference here over and over. A double kill is invaluable, and even though this didn't kill anybody, it kind of drew the attention away, right? Sometimes it's important enough to be able to get the kills, get what you need, and completely shifted everything on its head.
Couldn't agree more, and now we're into 1. Purdue Steel still on map point, heading into push is our 4th map type. So you're in the situation, if you're OC Esports, as you cannot afford to relax. The reverse sweep has begun, but you got to still take 2 more maps to be able to keep this going. So, you know, you still gotta, with the situation you're in, favor Purdue Steel, especially with how close all these maps have been. But OC Esports definitely not out of it just yet. They were able to claw their way through that map and make it happen.
They gotta make it happen again, Ray, right? The reverse sweep has only just begun. You still need to win out in 2 more maps to be able to claim this series for yourself. And of course, winning out in the first round of the Nationals in the Challengers Division. So our next map is going to take us on to Push. Our next game mode, rather, is going to take us on to Push. And our next map is going to be none other than Esperanca.
I mean, it's not really a big surprise here. This is another map where I expect to just see the Orisa v the Orisa. I mean, it does open the door a little bit for dive if you want to run that, but we haven't really seen that from either of these teams so far. So I think we're just going to continue to see these Orisa matchups. For Purdue Steel, I expect them this time around just to come out on it from the get-go because they've proven they can beat OC in that mirror. First two maps, how it went. So I think that's exactly what they need to do here. And for OC, yes, the Junkrat did you well on the Flashpoint map, but can it continue to find the necessary value on this Esperanca map where things are a lot more open and not as like close quartered centered around certain points as Flashpoint is?
Ready for battle.
Right, all I know is that we're getting another different look from OC Esports. It's still inside of the spawn room, but we recently, just as recently as last week, saw a Orisa versus Winston matchup, right? On this map of Esperanca.
That we did, and the map came down to the wire, so you never really know for sure, but I mean, I like seeing the dive adaptation. I mean, Tracer did get the slight nerf, but still extremely playable in these dive compositions. But this feels kind of more, I mean, I don't know. It's just for the side of Purdue, obviously Tootle has to be your target. It's the least stationary target, that squishy that you can really go after. Force that slide out and get rid of Tootle.
Dive on top of them. Almost as simple as that. August is going to ignore all conventional wisdom here, though. Just trying to get into their face. But instead of Tootle being that squishy target, it's going to be Monster. And Purdue Steel just had no chance to try and do anything without their Lucio. And then RTP Heart gets rid of Blaze. Massive value again.
Yeah, once again, Monster dying early in these fights has been a big problem for Purdue Steel. They are now going to swap over to the Junker Queen, which is going to do very well into this Winston. That carnage as Winston dives in can be absolutely deadly. So let's see if they can make it happen. Blaze going over the Reaper too, which Reaper is just known as the Winston Buster.
We are getting everything in the kitchen sink tonight. I mean, we got Reinhardt, now we're getting Reaper. Can only imagine what's going to be next. It's a TP up there. Insane from Blaze to already get value from the Reaper, but being the Winston Buster ain't happening right now. In fact, falling to the Winston they were sent to destroy. Instead, that's going to have to be Tootle to make that happen. Now Bubbles is going to get in the face of the Sojourn, now being bullied out by the support and the DPS. Tootle comes out all the better for it, and Purdue gets the bot.
It's going to be one thing they're going to have to be careful about with this Junker Queen and the Reaper. Generally, you want to be together, going on targets together. I mean, I say that now. Smogus is going to go back over to the Orisa. Monster dies early once again. I feel like this is, once again, another issue plaguing Purdue Steel. You cannot afford to have your Lucio going down early in these fights, especially when you're playing a more rush brawl kind of composition.
Far too eager to begin the onset of damage against Zealous, maybe wanting to fight against the DPS, but Monster's overeagerness could potentially cost Purdue a lot here. And now we're going to have both of the Foxes on the field, making a beautiful X on this Esperanca. This Vanilla getting just a little bit more out of it. Bobbles is going to fall, so no Tracers here. What an overclock. Sees Monster right as they get back on the field. See Monster. Bye, Monster.
And that should be the forward spawns coming out from OC Esports, which is going to be absolutely devastating on these push maps. But as long as you don't gain too much distance on this next attack, it is easily recoverable for the side of OC Esports. But they use both their OC did use both of their DPS ultimates in that fight. So this is where things get a little bit rough for them. They're going to be facing this overclock, but the sound barrier is available for Darth.
Dot's been more than eager to use their sound barrier on Tootle's overclock. Tootle can be a monster with that ultimate. Sometimes only inside of that ultimate, Monster! You cannot fall! You have to stay alive, and they are You've even gotten rid of Darth. And with the loss of that sound barrier, this is just free real estate for Toodle to have used that overclock. And they chose in here, but phenomenal discipline is going to allow them to actually use that in the upcoming team fight and help actually get some distance on this bot.
Couldn't agree with you more. They didn't have to use any ult in that fight, which is huge. Still have that Toodle overclock available. You can even get aggressive with this Terra Surge. Look to draw out the sound barrier and set up Toodle for an overclock where you're not having to deal with the sustain of the sound barrier.
Still got to clear about 25 meters for Purdue. Getting the Terra Surges. We're getting the sound barriers. A lot of beautiful colors here. But it's gotta be Night Slash to live. They do, and Zealous is unreal. How many times this player can do something out of nothing? Locked inside of a corridor, trapped against with their backs against the wall, and they are still getting picks.
Just absolutely insane value coming out. And that was just OC being extremely patient, playing the sightlines very well in those back hallways, being able to get out and heal their team up and just completely negate the value of that pulse bomb coming through from Blaze. Toodle still has this overclock, has been holding on to it for a while. I mean, now Bubbles is down though.
This is down. A window. They just need to dive through it, and that's what Zealous is going to do, try and dive out of there. But Blaze sees the weakened Sojourn separated and isolated, and that is like prey descending upon, rather, predator descending upon their prey. Purdue Steel may actually get the forward spawns here and tie things up.
Not so certain about that. I mean, they do not get the forward spawns, but they should be getting their team back pretty quickly. Bubbles can go on there and contest for a while if necessary. And they have a lot of ults to work with, Pulse Bomb and Overclock, with, you know, no sound barrier online whatsoever. But it looks like they are just going to give up the forward spawns, which is very questionable.
Gonna be devastating, as a matter of fact. We hear it again. This ends now. Zealous rings those words, and they are always true. You give up the forward spawns, but you get the bot back. Is the thing, though, Ray, right? You got the forward spawns, and so right there, Smogus is there.
Yeah, everyone except for Goose gets the forward spawns, but Goose has the TP available to get to their team pretty quickly. So, you know, not a whole lot, you know, nothing much gained for the side of OC Esports. Toodles still has this overclock. He's been holding on to this one for a very long time, Sam.
Toodles loves that overclock, doesn't want to go too crazy with it here. Mongus now on the receiving end of the damage, needs to back away. Here comes the Terra Surge. Mongus is going to tank and survive on the other side of it here. Needs to look towards getting the healing from their Kiriko and Lucio. Brilliant pulse bomb from Blaze all over the world. This bot just barely even gets past the forward spawns for either of these teams.
Again, just patient play. Blaze setting up a big pulse bomb onto Zealous, completely takes away the high ground that Zealous was holding. Then you just are able to easily push the Orisa without any fear of being pelted by that Sojourn.
All right. We're looking at just a 3-meter differential between both of these teams. Still in favor of OC Esports, though. You got to try and stop them here and now. Smalgus goes in with a Terra Surge. Backed away just in the nick of time, and now Darth BR is going to give out a sound barrier. Monster is gone. Eliminated. Zealous is on a different plane.
And again, Sam, eliminated with the sound barrier online. It's just baffling to me how often they're allowing something like this to happen. It just feels like massive. I mean, imagine if you had sound barrier in that fight. You could have re-engaged. You would have had a Kitsune Rush to use and your overclock. You could have taken the lead there.
So... it's something that I think will haunt your memories. Slight technical pause, though. When we make an explanation for this, hopefully, mouse died, Ray. Monster's mouse died.
All right, you get a pass for this one, Monster. That's okay. That's okay. I mean,
Purdue
everyone's
has
gonna
forward
get close
spawns.
spawns anyway, so really you're just gonna take another fight. The problem is you're probably gonna have to commit ults that you wish you would have had for that last fight, but things happen. Technology can be finicky.
Yeah, it really can, Ray, right? it's 0.4 meters, right? If Purdue Steel can just get an inch less than, they'll be back in the lead. And now Goose gets to give us the boxes in. Toodle is finally going to use the overclock. Time to get in their face. Start laying down the damage. OC Esports experts at walking backwards. Bubbles maybe not quite as much. Night Slash stuck in a corner. And now put into a permanent corner of the spawn room. And not permanent, but for a little bit more. The picks keep on piling on top of each other. This time around, no forward spawns.
Yeah, and this is going to be with the late staggers. A lot of distance now being gained by Purdue Steel. However, OC Esports, they were patient. They didn't ult. I mean, they did use their sound barrier, but outside of that, nothing. So they got 4 in their warships to be able to work with you. So Monster sound barrier is that much more important for this fight to negate a lot of these incoming ults.
And it's always so scary. Their health bar like this. Zealous gets the overclock with the Kitsune Monster and just the right window to be able to snipe out Zealous, but Smogus is not going to survive inside of their Terra Surge. You're losing out on your tank, and now at this point, you're just trying to pick up whatever pieces you can. Maybe this is even more pieces. Blaze is an insane player. It doesn't matter if it's Tracer, Genji, what have you. They've done something. They've made it happen here. And a reminder once more, Purdue has those forward spawns.
That they do, but OC still has their Terra Surge and a sound barrier to work with. Goose will get this Kitsune rush online, but once again, OC Esports, if they just play with aggression, they should be able to win this fight here. If they win this fight, they should be able to steal the lead. Final fight, Sam. Can OC Esports take us to a map number 5?
Right there. If OC Esports can win this, it's so close to victory. And they have the ultimates to make it happen, but Toodle has the headshot. They've been found out by Night Slash, who wants to use this Terra Surge as effectively as they can. Try to delay out as much of this Kitsune rush as they can, but there's no life to be given. There's no life to be had. Purdue Steel is walking their way. This is a team forged through the fire and flames. Steel that is not bending. Steel that is unbreakable. Purdue Steel winning Esperanca, winning this series 3-1.
Just extremely well played by Purdue Steel. All of these maps were just so close, but in the clutch, when things were backs against the wall, different players each time came through big for the side of Purdue Steel, whether it was Toodles in those first couple maps, and then on this final map, to me it was Blaze. Blaze came through big on the Tracer on this map.
It felt like every player from Purdue Steel was almost having their own highlight moment. And whether it was a highlight of something scary like Monster being the initial picker, the pick off by the hands of Zealous, maybe we could blame those mouse issues. Regardless of whatever was happening here, though, we've seen some insane gameplay from both of these teams. Purdue Steel, though, the ones to upset the seeding against OC Esports. If this is what we're in for on the Nationals, the Challenger stage, Ray, you can only imagine what things are going to be looking like across the board, especially considering that Purdue Steel now has to go against Illinois State University Redbirds, their Ajax squad, who 3-0'd Carleton Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking my mojo, Sam. I was going to bring that up, but that's okay. That's okay, man. But that is not going to be an easy matchup. Any version of Redbirds, whether it's their main roster, their secondary roster, you know what that esports program brings, especially in Overwatch and in esports in general. But you know they're going to be a tough team. And as you mentioned, they're just coming off a 3-0, so they're feeling extremely confident. So Purdue Steel's going to have to be ready for quite the matchup next week.
It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to take the lessons that you've learned here. Maybe be a little bit more solidified in your compositions, right? We talked a lot about that. Maybe bring Arisa out. Maybe not experimenting so much. We could be on map number 5 had OC Esports started off on Arisa all the way in round number 1 of Nepal. It's those little things that you think about, right? Little techniques, little strategies that all add up over time. Could be a completely different story.
Couldn't agree with you more. And, that's just the story of Overwatch. Sometimes it just comes down to compositions and counter swaps and counter picks. And I felt like at the end of the day, Purdue Steel was getting the better end of that most of the time. And that's why they won 3-1. But congratulations to Purdue Steel for getting the upset victory over OC Esports. With that, that's going to pretty much end our broadcast for the night. I'd like to shout out the 2 casters before us. Bullskunk and Billy absolutely killed it in that 5-map banger. I'd like to shout out our producers, Hippie, and then our observer, Carol, who just does amazing work observing for NECC Overwatch season after season after season. And I'd like to shout out all of you guys in the chat. It was quite a lively chat today. A lot of you fans in there cheering on your teams. We wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you. It would just be us rambling at nothing. So thank you guys for everything. And with that, we are going to close the stream, and we'll see you next week for some more nationals for NECC Overwatch. See you later.